Giddy up, ladies and gents. Welcome to episode 6 of It's All Geek to Me, the pop culture chat show where three friends with varying degrees of nerd knowledge get together to have a chat about all things geek once a week. Now, joining me this week are my usual brothers in geek. Please welcome. He's a comedian. He's an impressionist. It is Mr. Chris Long.
Hello.
Hey, Chris, how you doing, mate? You all right?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. I messed up the introduction, so, it's a great start to the show this week. But hey, live TV, folks.
You sounded brilliant. You sounded amazing.
Stop. That's the nicest thing anyone said to me this year, Chris. Did you have a good week?
Yeah, we're all right. Bill, bit hectic, you know what I mean?
Hectic? You've had a hectic lockdown week. What's been going on with you?
Oh, just, recording stuff.
Oh, you've been doing lots of voices, haven't you?
I have been doing some voices this week. Actually, I've been doing a lot of people ordered a load of Trumps just for his last week.
That's right, because your YouTube channel Lom, your Donald Trump videos and impressions have been getting quite a few views, haven't they?
They have got 3 views. You're right.
I wonder why Donald Trump's suddenly becoming so popular as a figure to be mocked at the moment. But congratulations, Chris. It's nice to be busy. Well, also joining us is our other brother in Geek. He is an apprentice Lego master, and you'll see why later on. Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Nathan Webb.
Who the hell's Donald Trump?
Donald Trump. Have you never seen Home Alone 2?
Oh, yeah.
He's a featured player in Home Alone 2.
Child actor. I loved him in Uncle Buck. Is in that one? Hang on, I think I'm getting confused.
I think you might be getting confused. Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, you didn't mess up, Gittins. It was lovely.
Bless you. That's really nice. I didn't realise that you could.
It's our job saying all them words in a row.
It's a lot of words to say, but not as hard as working down a mine. Hey, Nathan.
That's true.
It's very.
You look a bit. You look
an odd comparison for you to make.
Nathan, you're looking a bit dark.
I'm looking a bit dark.
Yeah, you got a light near you. Nobody can see your face.
Right behind me. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
No, it looks dark on this, but when you watch it back. Yeah,
you'll be illuminated.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
all right.
Yeah,
just
yeah. So,
so how was your week been, Nathan? What have you been up to?
Do you know, I can't tell one week from the other at the minute. This lockdown thing is sort of you're working from home and it's all blurring into one. But taking the rough with the smooth. It's been
everyone else finding this lockdown much tougher than the others.
Yeah, I'm just fed up of them now. Fed up of it.
Yeah. I was doing all right up until a couple of days ago, and then suddenly, just felt as flat as a witch's tit. I'm
seriously bored of looking at these same 4 walls, and I've run out of Lego, man. I've run out. I've built it all.
So yes. So should we do this later on, or should we do it now? Are we going to have a look at your Sesame Street Lego?
You can wait.
Can we? Oh, that's to see it
now.
I really want to see it. You've been talking about this for weeks.
One of my lovely Christmas gifts this year was a limited edition Lego Sesame Street that came out. That is just the cutest damn thing you've ever seen, in my opinion. And I finished building that today. So I sent a couple of pictures to the boys so we could have a look around Sesame Street.
We need that gallery music for this, though. We do.
Yeah, look at that.
That's an awesome picture you've taken there, Nathan.
Let me get rid of that.
It makes a change, man. I'm not very good at taking Lego pictures.
Oh, don't put yourself down like that. You always take good pictures of Lego.
I don't really try.
Look at how hyped on cookies he is. He's going nuts.
He's got a cookie in his hand. It's Cookie Monster. He's crazy for him. Absolutely crazy for him. So that's the front view of the street where you've got Hooper's shop. If you remember the show, they used to go to a little shop, and the building that you can see that's got the 1, 2, 3 on it. It has got round the back. You can see it's the bottom floor is Elmo's flat. And
hang on, right? Am I meant to be?
I think you've got a couple more pictures. Yeah, let's see what you got. Yeah, that's Bert and Ernie's flat.
Nice.
Look at them beds, man.
Rubber ducky. They are screen accurate, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, got a lovely double set of beds, and the bath was amazing to build. It just I build Star Wars stuff, so I never really build little bits of furniture. I was blown away by some of the details in it.
You haven't got Obi-Wan's bed combo set for
I'll tell you what it does have, Lum. This is the attention to detail. Bert's even got a box of paper clips. Each one comes with an accessory or two. So Bert's got a pigeon and a paper clip. So if you've ever seen Sesame Street, you'll know what I'm talking about. And Ernie's got his little rubber ducky, and everybody's got their own little accessories. What's next, Lum? What's the next picture?
Let's have a look. We've got
Cookie Monster's house. So he's watching telly. He's chilling out, watching his telly with a cookie. There's cookies all over the place. But I really like the VCR player. He's got a video player, videos coming out. It's just cute, man. It's really cute.
I like the fact that he's got a picture of the Count on his wall as well.
Yeah, he has. It's probably one of his mates or something.
Carry on.
There's even a bat on the roof there.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, side view of the street. You can see that the shop's got like an espresso bar with a cappuccino thing, and it's cool. There's a UFO on the roof of Ernie's building as well. Fire escape and all sorts, man. Little flower beds everywhere. It's proper cute.
It looks really, really. How many pieces?
I think 1,200 off the top of my head. 1,237.
Nice.
Yeah, Elmo's bedroom. You can't see behind him. He's got it's out of shot, but behind him he's got a little fish tank with a goldfish in it and a train that goes around his bed. But it was super cute, I have to say. And Oscar's a grouch.
Hey, there he is.
Come on.
But you said earlier, didn't you? There's no Grover.
Yeah, it didn't. I don't know if they're going to do any more, but that's one of the things. Will. I think the next set's probably going to come with a Grover or a Super Grover and a Snuffleupagus or something, because there's a couple missing, but it's got the main people there.
Do you know about so Lego? These sets get made by people submit designs, don't they? And they have to get.
Yeah, this was one of the. I have to give credit to the people. Yeah, this was a Lego ideas set. Every year they let people submit ideas for shows. Recent winners, I think somebody did a Flintstones Bedrock set last year. That got made. There's all sorts.
There's one of them.
Cafe.
Yeah. Somebody just did The Office as well. You know, the American Office.
Okay.
Yeah. And they submit these designs. You can actually go online and see what's been submitted and what's being put into the finalization process.
That's the same with some of the Harry Potter ones.
I'm not sure, actually. I think there was a lady who made such an amazing mock. A mock is a homemade one of Harry Potter. She did a Hogwarts. It was so amazing, and like 20,000 pieces or something. And she was so good at it that I think they drafted her in to do the little separate buildings they did. But yeah, the Lego Ideas, best Lego Ideas one this year is absolutely beautiful, and I'll be gutted if they don't make it. And it's a Lord of the Rings one, right? But it's an open book of the Lord of the Rings, like the page is open like that with I've forgotten the name of it. The Hobbit house. What's it called?
Shire.
No, it's in the Shire, isn't it? Bag End. That's it. Yeah. You've got Bag End coming out of the book itself. It's gorgeous, man. And Gandalf and Frodo are there. And yeah, if that one doesn't get picked, I'll be absolutely good.
That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah. It's really, really cute. It's good.
Nice. I'm looking forward to seeing some more Lego. And if anyone from Lego is watching at any point, probably not live now, but any point in the future, and you fancy sending Nathan some Lego, I'm sure it would make that Geeks probably. Free Lego.
I'll build it for you.
I mean, he don't like to talk about this, but he's had a few hard weeks. He needs some Lego to cheer him up.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, no, but it's all about you. And if anybody can send Nathan some free Lego,
actually, fuck him. We want a Sesame Street set. Me and Rich.
You know what?
I'd be up for Hogwarts. Actually,
the thing is with Lego, the only problem I've got with Lego is I don't have enough money to actually buy a lot of it. Do you know what I mean? Because you could just buy it forever. There's so much. There's so many I've missed. Once you miss them and they're gone, that's when it gets difficult. So I was looking at trying to get hold of Jabba's sail barge from Return of the Jedi to go with my Star Wars stuff. And it came out a few years ago. And it wasn't that expensive for what it was when it came out. But on eBay now, they're fetching for like 280 quid for this set. So you've really got to be dedicated to want to spend money on that when it's not worth it. Because probably £100 when it came out. But if you miss it, you miss it. That came out before I started collecting Lego, so what can you do? But yeah, anyway, that's me Lego, my guilty secret, and now you all know.
Oh, all right.
I will blow you for Lego. I will blow for Lego. All right. I'm just gonna say.
We all want the Falcon. That's what we want. Let's be honest. Everybody wants the Falcon.
Yeah, allegedly one of the sets they're doing this year is Ultimate Collector Series AT-AT, which has got 8,000 pieces or something like that. I mean, it's going to be huge.
It's basically a Shire horse. Is basically
it's going to be like Wow. And when you've got a 3-year-old, I'm going to just, if I get it, I'm just going to.
He'll be trying to ride it.
Yeah, he's going to try and ride it around. I'm going to try and ride it. Fair enough.
No, but that's a different kind of riding. So this week, we're going to get into the week's geek news like we do every single week. And actually, it's been quite a geek-filled news week this week. So first of all, we've got news that there's going to be a new Indiana Jones game. Gentlemen, it is going to be Todd Howard, the Todd father, who is the genius behind names such as the Elder Scrolls and the latest incarnations of Fallout. Absolute genius of a man. He's going to be leading. He's going to be the executive producer. So it's Bethesda and Machine Games, the makers of Wolfenstein. So they know a thing or two about killing Nazis. So very, very little is known about this. They're predicting looking at maybe about 2 years' time before the game's actually released. So I would imagine it's going to be a next-gen game. But there's been a little sneak trailer come out. It's like sort of 10 seconds long on the internet, and that's pretty cool. What do you think about it, gents? Have you got any hopes for it or any fears for the game?
I think that Uncharted proved that you can make an Indiana Jones game easily. I'm not sure if that was ever meant to be an Indiana Jones style game, but they've proved it to be done time and time again. It's got to be really hard to screw this up, man. I don't know.
I mean, so do you think it's going to be a first-person shooter? Do you think it's going to be like an RPG? How do you think they're going to work it? Because it's a brand new story that they're getting together with LucasArts or the new branded Lucas Games, and they're going to be working on a brand new story together. So you are our Indiana Jones aficionado, Lummy. What are your thoughts?
I told you in the week, didn't I? I didn't want to get my hopes up because the amount of Indiana Jones games have started and cancelled just because it's not Star Wars, and they go, do you know what? People might not, buy this. They do it all the time, and there was a game that was supposed to come out. It only came out on the Wii, and it was supposed to come out on PS3 and all sorts at the time, and they cancelled it all across it. So I don't.
But they are releasing. Sorry, Lummy, go on.
No, you're all right. Go on.
Well, they are releasing a new Indiana Jones film, so it might be that it's because we were talking last week about games franchises for movie franchises for games and things. Maybe it's something they're starting to bring back a little bit.
Yeah, I mean the good thing about this week, the best news of all is Lucasfilm Games. They've reformed the company basically as Lucasfilm Games, and what they've done, they've took the license just exclusively off of people. So. For example, we're EA, weren't they? Who had the Star Wars license.
Star Wars, yeah, they've taken it off them. Yeah,
so they can license games now out to anybody they want. Can Lucasfilm, rather than just going to one house, which means you might end up with a couple of Indiana Jones games, or for different formats and things, or loads of Star Wars games, and they can really have a go.
I mean, my gut feeling is that if they do tie it into the movie, it's probably going to suck.
No, they won't do that.
I hope it's a standalone, separate story. And
what, Indiana Jones or Star Wars?
The Indiana Jones one.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to it. I think they will release it because
let's do a VR one. What about that? Virtual reality, you pick up the hat and the whip, and away you go.
Well, do we think it's going to be an Xbox exclusive with Microsoft buying the sort of umbrella company of Bethesda, or do we think that Lucas Games, because they have rebranded this in the last week or so, do we think that they're going to push for a cross-platform release for the game? Excellent, brilliant. So we also have, as we were saying, the Star Wars game that is being
crystal ball.
That's been taken from just look for your predictions. The Star Wars game that's been taken, the license has been taken from EA Sports, EA Games, and it's been given to Ubisoft. Ubisoft Massive. What do we know about the Star Wars game? Is anyone got any more information about this, gents?
Was this supposed to be the open world?
Yeah.
Right. So,
because there was a game that was pulled in the last year, wasn't there? It never actually saw the light of day.
Well, Battlefront 2, the last release, not the last release, the one that came out a few years ago that is the first-person shooter, has just been gaining more and more word of mouth and momentum. It started off quite weakly, not a lot of people playing it, but they've added so much to it since then. So many playable characters, Jedis and baddies, and so many ships you can fly in different levels. They're constantly working on it. So I think they don't seem to be showing any signs of releasing Battlefront 3, and they're still releasing stuff, downloadable content for that game. So I think that's going to stay as it is. I'm picturing sort of a more open world, like Fallout, a more open world where you are a Star Wars type character, and you get to design your character, decide what kind of environment you're living in, whether you're a goodie or a baddie, whether you're a Jedi or a bounty hunter, or a droid. So, it depends. They've had the facility to do this kind of thing for years and years and years. So many, like games like Destiny and Horizons. What is it? Horizon Dawn, or what? Massive games that are set in space, and Eve that is set in space. But it's like there's an infinite amount of space to explore. It sounds ridiculous, but it's absolutely the huge Eve, which is quite old. My cousin plays it, or used to play it. It's absolutely massive, like massive and massive. I don't think you could even get from one side of the universe to the other in it. It's properly huge. So there is scope there to be able to have the whole Star Wars universe to play around in, flip from planet to planet. It could be quite cool.
Should we assume that any game announcements that sort of are made sort of from now on are all going to be intended to be released on the next generation consoles and not on sort of PS4?
Just assume it, yeah. Assume whatever you want.
I think so, yeah. Yeah. I was just going to say one point on Battlefront 2. If anybody's watching who's got a PC and hasn't got the game, Epic Games are giving it away free at the moment. And all you do is just go on and make an account if you haven't got it. People probably got it anyway, but you can get the whole game for free, and it's the edition with all the skins in as well.
That's Chris loving some hot ticket advice there, ladies and gentlemen. He's got his finger on the pulse.
Help yourself to a freebie.
Yeah, look at you, Lummy. Thank you very much. And also, Chris Evans, Captain America, he's in talks about coming back and playing the Cap in another couple of Marvel projects. What do we think about that? Because kind of it was left in quite a nostalgic sort of endgame. How do you feel? Yeah, I think so. With the
spoiler alert for anybody that hasn't seen it. I don't think it was. I think it was pretty cut and dry that he's an old ass man now. He went back in time, did what he needed, returned all the Infinity Stones, which they skipped over and didn't tell us how. Went back and got with his ex and lived his life.
Exactly what I mean. That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah, they could do that if they wanted. But I mean, controversial, but Captain America's not a character I've ever really been massively close to anyway. You know what I mean?
You're a commie.
The movies, the recent movies they did, it did pique my interest probably for the first time in that character in my entire life, because I'm not American and I'm not American patriot, so I don't really know.
Very much like a boring Superman kind of character that just sort of and it bleeds red, white, and blue, and
so old, and I'm probably going to get shot down for this, but it's just who I am. I can't help it.
No. I think there's a lot of people who feel the same way about those two characters.
The movies did a really good job of breathing new life into the character, making him relevant, making him funny. He had some great lines, making him make you feel as well. It was quite an emotional ride. Was Captain America watching him?
It was quite good. I think they themselves acknowledge that is quite an uppity, sort of slightly pretentious, takes himself too seriously character, and that's why they made him the butt of a lot of jokes throughout the series. And I think. It was quite tongue-in-cheek the way that
America's butt, no less.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, have they said anything about what they're going to be, or is it just not announced?
No, not announced it yet. It's
that's what it depends on, innit? If they're going to go back in and try and do another movie with him, I mean, do you need it, or is it going to be something totally different? Like, is it going to be a multi-dimensional thing, like some of the other?
Yeah, looking at his life when he went back.
If you think about the way they left it, the clear story is to tell you how he got the Infinity Stones back in the right place.
I just threw him in, didn't he? He went in it back and went, there you go, there you go, there you go.
There you go.
That don't need a movie, Webb. Use your imagination. Come on.
But yeah, that would kind of be a bit of a starting point for me. But I mean, at least they didn't kill him off. It'd be a little harder to swallow, I suppose, if they were bringing somebody back that they killed off in the last couple of movies, But
what about? I mean, they didn't really show you a lot of Captain America in fighting Hydra back in the day, did they? It was just that one movie. So maybe even that,
Sorry about the slurping, guys.
It's all right. You slurp right through what I was saying, you son of a bitch.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. Go ahead.
Come on.
There's some big man.
This is great content, gentlemen. Well done.
Oh dear. But yeah, all right. Going back to Captain America, sure, why not? Bring it on. Let's see. I mean, I can't really discount anything that Marvel have got planned because they've shown time and time again that they do have something to say. They do have ideas. They do have decent storylines, and they are listening to the fans, which is an interesting one. I think things have started improving in the geek world since things like Deadpool came out and made a success, where it was an R-rated one, and all of a sudden the studios were like, "Oh, hang on a minute, people are put off by swear words." So Wolverine comes out full of swear words. You know what I mean?
Comic book stuff isn't just for kids. No. It's that kind. I know. It's brilliant. Yeah. And okay, well, let's go cross over from Captain America to another Marvel project, because we had the premiere of WandaVision last night. You both watched it?
I've watched episode 1.
Me too.
And then I got a bit sleepy, so I didn't watch 2. I'm going to wait and watch 2. Now, all I can really say about it, this is spoiler-free again, guys, I think, because it's only fair. It's only just come out. Some of you lazy buggers haven't even got Disney Plus yet. What are you doing? Anyway, go get it. Watch Mandalorian first, then stick WandaVision on, see what you think. All I'll say is, for me, it's too early to tell. I've only seen 1 episode. I hope it's going somewhere. I didn't get any inkling that it was, or it didn't feel particularly connected to the Marvel world, but it's too early to tell. Lummy, you've seen an episode more than me, haven't you?
You've seen 2 episodes, haven't you?
Yeah, and I did go on the comments on I think it was Facebook. I went on, somebody posted about it, and this guy went, "Not for me. I give it 10 minutes." I mean, that's the guy who don't deserve Disney Plus. He can fuck right off,
I believe you. I just think, it's a little bit more complicated than that.
Yeah,
what person watches episode 1 of something and wants all the answers in the first episode?
I mean, when I watched Iron Man, the original movie, and they were in that cave, I went, "I'm done."
Yeah. Iron Man should be
a man stuck in a cave for 2 hours.
Man, this is bullshit.
Oh.
But do you not think? So I watched it, and I will give it longer, but resentfully. It kind of made me go, okay, where are they going to take this? That was pretty much the only question I had for it. The rest of the time, I was just kind of like, why? Okay, 2 questions. Where are they going to take this and why?
I think as a fan of Marvel stuff, it's your duty to inform yourself what they're trying to do. So what my inklings are about it are pretty much all in the trailer. Yeah, it goes through different eras of television throughout American history, and it starts in the 50s, black and white. And in that respect, as a pastiche of a 50s TV show, I Love Lucy or Dick Van Dyke or whatever the hell, there was tons of them. It's really, really well observed, down to the style of humor, the way they look, the way the sets are. It's perfectly done. I thought Paul Bettany was great in it. I thought he was really, really good playing that silly house husband type with his British accent, and and there's a little bit of magic in there and stuff, isn't it? But it's just, I'm gonna give it a chance before I shoot it down.
Honestly, put it this way: there's a reason why they released 2 episodes at once. Put it that way.
Okay,
because
well, yeah, I probably should have watched.
The new people are going to go, "What is this? We need more than one episode." If they'd released one episode, I could understand why people would be going, "What?" But second, just watch both of them, and then it's fine, and it's good they're doing something different. I'm all for it.
This is why we're here to help. We're here to help guide you through it and make you, instead of you sitting there scratching your heads, maybe we can help at some point and go, right, shine a bit of light on it. I definitely don't think it's just shit. You know what I mean? I've got to give it a chance.
I think Marvel have done really well at doing different types of films and combining it all into one, so it's in the same universe. Look at DC, and they've just made a mess of so much.
It's like they don't even care about the
well, they don't anymore.
Batman, because if they shit all over Batman the way they just did with Wonder Woman, what a waste of money! What a waste of everybody's time.
We haven't really talked about Wonder Woman much.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet. No.
Okay, well, we can't then, can we?
What Lummy's just said does kind of confirm my suspicions that it did feel like they were trying to fit one episode into 2 episodes, if you know what I mean. So it didn't feel like there was enough going on in that first episode to qualify it being one episode. It felt like that there was more that needed to be more to it, and the fact that Lummy's just said there's a reason they've split it over. Split 2 episodes.
I think there is definitely other stuff going on, but from what I could see from the first episode, there's hardly any idea at all what that is as a first watch. Do you know what I mean? There was little things in the background, but
without any spoilers, does the second episode justify or make sense of the 7-minute title sequence at the end of episode 1?
No, that's just a 7-minute.
Is it literally? It's episode 2's title sequence?
I don't know why the titles are so long on it. I don't know.
It's a 7-minute episode, but it's 23 minutes. 7 minutes of telling you who was in it.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people have worked on it. They might have had to finish it in lockdown, obviously, and they've obviously had like some guy at his laptop doing some painting on one of special effects, and then they had to pass it over to his mate. They might. That's why there's so many people worked on it.
Maybe they just need a smaller font size on their end credits, just to be able to pack more in there.
It's just amazing how something that looks like something from the 1950s, the credits are that long. There are movie-length credits for an episode of a black and white TV show that's 20 minutes long. It just why are the credits the same length as the Avengers credits?
But it does look like the production values are really high on it.
Of course, it's Disney, it's Marvel. Yeah, of course it will be. It does. It's fantastic looking, But like I say, need to know more before I start worrying about it. Or
people get spoiled by Netflix, and it's 10 episodes at once thing. That's the trouble. People can't wait.
Yeah. Well, that seems like a seamless link, actually. But I'm gonna bridge this seamless link because we're gonna finish off the news there, and I'd like to take an opportunity to give one of our community birthday greetings. Pop, not broth. It was your birthday this week, and from the 3 of us, a very, very happy birthday. I hope you got to have a lovely day. I hope you had a lovely time.
Lovely presents.
Yeah, let us know what you got, if you've got any nice presents. And if anybody else has got any comments, please feel free just to drop a comment below and give us a like and a subscribe over on our YouTube channel. But that was the bridge to the links. You were talking about Netflix spoiling us with their 10 episodes. And there was another 10-episode series that came out over Christmas, and it was season 3 of Cobra Kai. Is it season 3 or season 4?
Season 3.
Season 3. Now, this is going to be spoiler-free, but all 3 of us have now finished watching season 3 of Cobra Kai. I loved it. What did you guys think?
I could have waited a week. I could have waited a week for an episode for that. It honestly did not move me. Do you know what? I really liked the first season. I was totally on board with it. Second season, it was all right. I watched it quite quickly. For some reason, the third season didn't sit well with me at all, really. I just thought, okay, the joke's over now, guys. Like, enough with the stupid karate fights with fucking kids fighting each other. Like, everybody in the town's gone karate crazy.
The very thing the show's about. Enough of that.
It's it was just overkill, and it isn't. If you think about it, right? Okay, there's 3 Karate Kid movies and a 4th one with Hilary Swank, I believe, right? The girl one that came out in the early 90s.
The next Karate
The next Karate Kid. Now, in those films, at any point, do you remember seeing more than 2 or 3 or 4 people fighting at once on screen? Were there entire villages of people fighting at once, entire schools, No, it didn't happen. That's what I mean. It's overkill. It just because it says karate in it, doesn't mean you have to karate all the time. Everybody's karate crazy. Like not one of these teenagers ever looks at the phone. They're too busy karate, and that's how good karate is. They won't even pick up the phone because I don't need my iPhone. I'm just going to karate.
Maybe you need to search inside yourself and have some karate on yourself.
So for me, there were a few standout points. I will say the good things. I thought Johnny Lawrence, amazing, totally on board with him. He had all the best lines. He was great. Yeah. Again, what's he called? Ralph Macchio, Daniel, not bad either. I really liked the Japanese episodes.
I loved how they were. Oh, I can't spoil it, can I?
No, don't spoil it.
But that's what I'm
you love how they were doing karate. That's what you're going to say, wasn't it, Liz? You love how they were doing karate.
Yeah.
Nobody does karate in Japan. They don't do it there. They just do it in schools in California.
The thing I love about that show, and we were talking about this, Nathan and I, this week, was that because you were struggling to kind of get into it as much as the other seasons, and it kind of reminds me, I don't know if, Lummy, we've never actually spoken about this. Perhaps it's something we can cover one week. Gotham. Did you get into Gotham at all?
Yeah, I watched it all, loved it.
So I absolutely, Nathan and I both loved Gotham as well. Talking like we're a married couple. Nathan and I, we loved Gotham. It was wonderful. We used to watch it every single night together.
Let him speak for himself. Nathan and I loved Gotham.
No, it's just don't embarrass himself. But the thing about Gotham, it was incredibly cheesy. And actually, when you come into a new season, it always took a sort of 20 or 30 minutes of an episode to get back into it.
Exactly that. I completely forgot how ridiculously cheesy. It's not the show's fault. The show didn't change. I changed, right? And I just, for some reason, this time around, I was just like, oh, this is a bit... It felt more like a stupid kids soap opera than it did about the story of Cobra Kai and stuff, you know.
Do you know what, though? The good thing about it knows what it is. It knows that it's nostalgic and cheesy. It doesn't matter. And I think they've got a nice balance of that. There's some... I like it. I like just for that. I know some people who hate it because of that. They're like, I'm like, have you ever seen Karate Kid 1, 2, and 3? Because
I don't hate it. And now I do think there is a massive distinction. And me and Gittins talked about this the other day. There is a massive distinction, and I'll say this until my dying breath, between the films and the show. The films are a little bit cheesy, right? No doubt about it. The humor's pretty funny, but they are a bit cheesy. The show, it's just like super cheesy all the time. I mean, I can't go into specifics as we're trying not to spoil it, but you know what I'm talking about. I mean, like, you must know what I'm talking about. I can't.
I don't know what you're talking about without telling us, and you can't.
I know what you're talking about because you mentioned it to me, but I still think it's absolutely fine. I think that the cheesy element of it is the vehicle for the show.
Right. And actually, they've gone, okay, can we do this? Is that not a little bit too much? And they've gone, yeah, we could do it. Whatever, we can do what we want.
Some of those actors, the performances are actually way more complex and complicated than they should be. They're way more complicated and complex to be able to pull off, because it's not a case of just trying to make something believable. It's trying to make it believable, but with a tinge of kind of unbelievability to it as well. And I think that's
kicking somebody across the room.
Kicking someone across the room, man. And I think that's quite a difficult tightrope to walk. Karate on tightropes.
I mean, the thing is, if you are a fan of martial arts movies, this is for the audience, not for you guys, because in my opinion, if you're a fan of martial arts movies, Cobra Kai is not for you, because it isn't real kung fu. It's joke, cheesy. It's cheesy. Karate. It's cheesy karate.
It's not kung
fu. You know, it's ridiculous to the nth degree, in my opinion. Yeah, but like I said, the first 2 seasons were like that as well. And for some reason, I must have been in a better mood maybe when I watched those. I wasn't in lockdown. It was before lockdown. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Hey, here's one for you. Speaking of Gotham a little bit, did you get a really Gotham vibe from the teaser at the end of Mandalorian for the Book of Boba Fett? I did. For some bizarre reason, I watched it going, seems like Gotham. Don't know why. It was weird.
I didn't put that together, but I can see what you mean, But I never thought that. I mean, I'm a guilty pleasures person, right? Cobra Kai for me should have worked this season. I just thought, okay, this is a joke that I'm done with now. I get it. Like, you don't need to keep laboring your point. But I went through how many seasons of Gotham? And there were some ridiculous things in it. 5 seasons, man. And there were some bits where me and Gittins would get together and chat about it after we'd seen it. And he'd be like, oh, man, I loved it. I was like, yeah, but don't you think that was just a little too much? Like, because the cheesier you make Gotham, the more danger you end up in that Batman 66 territory, which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with. It's perfectly fine if that's the tone of what you want. But it depends whether you want that or whether you want the Dark Knight tone, you know what I mean? And for me, I want the darker stuff. I want the adult stuff. I don't want I don't want to be pandered to. Gotham,
I like the off-the-wall element to it. I like, and that's what I really enjoyed about both Gotham and.
Let's just think about it for a second. They got away with murder in that show, man. Because
lots of people. Well, but then Batman,
the Joker, all the characters coming back, Penguin. It was great for that. It was great to see what people looked like before Batman, was around.
And looking at the Joker origin story that they were trying to kind of play around with.
Yeah, and then was it a Joker origin story? And it was pretty cleverly done.
I'd love to see them come back with another season.
That kid who played the Joker in that, man, he's my favourite Joker.
Yeah.
He is. I like all the Jokers, don't get me wrong, but I think they're flawed. I think, oh God, I probably shouldn't say this. I think Heath Ledger's Joker is great, right? Except for the fact he don't tell any fucking jokes. He's not funny. He's not a Joker. He's crazy and he's like into the chaos of everything. But there's only a couple of moments. He barely even laughs in it. Do you know what I mean? It's so dark.
You're having a bad day. You've had the loads of them, so you know what he's going through.
But, it just depends on the choices your director makes. You know what they're going to go for.
Did you want him to pull a joke book out and start cracking him up?
No, I just wanted him to try and be a little bit funny since he's the fucking Joker.
I mean, to be honest, I think this is a really inappropriate conversation. Why are you speaking so ill of the dead? I mean,
that's another thing.
Why do you hate dead people so much?
I'm not saying he's crap. He's a great Joker. He's just not very funny, and I think that's a part of what the Joker should be. Whereas the kid from Gotham,
he's great.
He's the Jedi Fallen Order guy, isn't he, as well?
Oh, is he?
Is he really?
What's his name?
Did you not know
that? Is that his name in the show? Cameron. I can't remember. But what they did with him as well, there's a really, really awesome story arc from Batman called The Court of Owls. And it's about them discovering that the elite of Gotham have always been controlled by the Court of Owls, this underground, unseen entity. There's a group of people meet in the shadows and stuff. But anyway, as a result of this storyline, there's an arc of the Joker where he cuts his own face off. And, he pays somebody to cut his own face off. And he walks around for like quite a few issues with no face. He's just muscle tissue on his face until he staples his own face back onto his face.
He did that in the show. He did that in the show.
That's what I'm saying. It was brilliant to see that they brought the Court of Owls storyline in there. It's quite a recent storyline, so I just thought it was pretty cool that they stapled his own face back on. Yeah, that's more like it, That's my favorite Joker.
All right. Well, I mean, I like the animated one, Mark Hamill.
Yeah, he's great too.
Yeah. Actually, Mark Hamill in the Batman games is brilliant.
I mean, should I say it? There's only one really bad Joker for me. Only one, and that's the bloody Jared Leto one, which was awful. Every other Joker has got its merits. Even Cesar Romero from the original. He's great. Jack Nicholson, great. They're all great. But for me, the one in Gotham is the best Joker, man. It's a cool idea that they went with.
Right.
Yeah, perfect. Well, so would you recommend people to go and watch season 3 of Cobra Kai, Nathan?
Do what you want. I'm not saying it's shit. I didn't really.
What you
Why is this causing you such amusement? Fucking idiots. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Sort it out.
Cobra Kai was brilliant. It was really
shy.
good.
Come on, get a grip. Fucking hell. Just get
the Cobra Kai watching. Send us a box set, but don't send Nathan.
Send us like how to karate handbook.
Yeah, terrible karate.
We should learn karate, Rich, and we'll go around webs and convince him to watch Cobra Kai using the mysterious art of karate.
Yeah, no, we'll go around and teach his 3-year-old karate, so he kicks the shit out of his dad all the time. Yeah, come on, how was your week, Nathan? And be like, my 3-year-old beat me up again.
I wonder if it has had an impact on karate
lessons.
Yeah, like people have been like, oh yeah, this karate looks so cool. Look at these kids. They can't even look at the phones. They're too busy karateing. Dickheads.
I'd love to put you in meeting room where they're discussing the scripts, and you just like every time they're discussing the plot, he goes, "Why ain't anybody looking at the phones?"
Do you know this so ain't me? Like I'm usually the guy that's going like I've somehow turned into my brother who just shits on everything. But honestly, like it really wasn't all that. I kind of got over it and do what you want, watch it, like it, don't like it. I don't give a shit. It's just my stupid opinion. But yeah, the karate wasn't karate enough. There wasn't enough karate in it.
Thing is, I'm just a little bit like, okay, all right. I think this is saying more about the mood that you're in this week, Nathan, because
I didn't watch it this week. I watched it like
no, just the mood generally that you're in, because I think you're just in this mood of wanting to upset people, like like breaking your 3-year-old's heart this week.
That wasn't me. I didn't break his heart.
Right, so have you heard about this?
I haven't told you about this yet, Lummy. So we've been trying to get the kid to go to bed like a normal human being on the night time instead of like trying to kill us with his mind powers and his manipulations and stuff. So as part of that, we did another sticker chart. We tried it a few months ago and it worked all right. And then he started going to bed normally for a bit. So we dropped it over Christmas. It's been a bit of a nightmare going to bed. So we started the sticker chart up. Every night he goes to bed normally, gets a sticker in the morning. And the grand prize at the end was a Spider-Man suit. He's already got one. He's got a Spider-Man onesie, but it's more like a pajama with a hood and the eyes are on the head and that. But when he put that on, he wouldn't take it off. Anyway, so we ordered him what we thought was the best replica of a Spider-Man costume that a 3-year-old can get. Like it's a Marvel one, it's official, it wasn't cheap. And today was the day when he got to open it up. So it was up with Joanna this morning and he's opened his Spider-Man costume up. She got him to put the mask on. Fair enough, yeah, put the mask on. Okay. And he's looking like, all right, I can see the suit. I can see them. Where's the gloves? He's like, where's the gloves? He's like, what? I says, I don't want this one. I want the one that shoots webs. I want the one that sticks to the walls. I'm like, kid. So, yeah, he refused to put it on. He refused to. He hasn't worn it all day. It's just been sat in a pile on the living room table. And I keep occasionally going, do you want to try this on? Like, maybe you'll feel like Spider-Man. You'll get into it. He's like, no, it's not the real suit. It's not the real suit. I don't want it. So I'm like, dude, if they made real Spider-Man suits, I'm sorry, you wouldn't fucking see me for dust. I'd have one. If they actually made one that shot webs and let me climb walls, I'd have one myself. So I'm trying to explain without breaking his tiny little heart that you can't just buy a real superhero costume. I mean, it'd be a nightmare, wouldn't everybody have one? So yeah, it really upset him, and he's not wanted to talk about Spider-Man like all day.
Honestly, when you told me that, it broke my heart a little bit because I was just imagining his disappointment. I mean, it's that kind of spoiler alert. It's that kind of slow realization now, like the magic of Christmas might not be as magical as.
Nice work around there. Nice work around.
What do you mean?
What are you
getting at?
As magical as you might think it is, Chris.
Oh, you mean if you don't watch the Christmas Chronicles every year? Yeah, I get what you mean. I get
the Coca-Cola truck doesn't come.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think enjoy being a kid while you can, because it's a series of disappointments from here on out, man. You just had your first one.
But that's amazing because it's 3 years old. I mean, that is early for like that bomb's first. I mean,
it's early to find out Spider-Man doesn't exist.
My partner started Googling Spider-Man gloves for 3-year-olds, ones that shoot webs. No, that doesn't exist. That shit. You can get ones that shoot like plastic things out. But I'm telling you now, he's going to look at them and go, those aren't real webs. What do you think I am, a prick?
Yeah.
What are you trying to pull here? This is bullshit. Yeah, so I was quite impressed that he figured it out, but I'm also a little bit like, dude, you're going to look so cute in that Spider-Man costume. It's cool, you know. I'll have it.
Yeah, no, but he wants to look badass. He doesn't look cute.
No, he wants to climb walls. As if
exactly.
we let him do that anyway, you know. Like, we don't let him do anything because we're scared he's going to smash his face in all the time.
Why didn't you just tell him? Why didn't you just tell him that you can't make web shooters? Only the real Spider-Man knows how to make web shooters. There you go.
We've tried all sorts of stuff. All sorts. Like, you know, trying to explain to a 3-year-old that you're not a superhero, because if you think you're a superhero and then you just suddenly try to stop a train with your hands, it's not going to work out well. You can play as a superhero, you can be a hero, but for me to make you think you're invincible or bulletproof when you're 3 years old is probably a bad idea.
It's bad parenting.
So yeah, it's that balancing act of trying to keep them interested in stuff, but also trying not to get them to hurt themselves, or you know. So yeah, that's the disappointing life of my 3-year-old.
Poor little bastard. Anyway, on to the next segment. We're going to have another game of best or worst. And this week, our best and worst challenge is to pick out your best or worst number 2. So it's your best or worst movie sequel, but it has to be the number 2. So you can't have the third one because generally they tend to be pretty shit anyway. Whereas, you know, it's a little bit more debatable whether a second prequel or a first prequel is sequel, not prequel. I've really fucked this up, haven't I?
Right.
So basically, a movie number 2 is a sequel, a film sequel.
Can I just say, what the fuck are you on about?
Chris, we're going to start with Nathan. So Nathan, what is your favorite movie sequel?
Karate Kid. No, I'm kidding. No, my favorite sequel, and I think for me, the elements of what a favorite sequel is something that either improves on the first film or is equally as good as the first film. That's pretty much it. If you can't do that, don't waste my time. And one that I think recently really nailed it was Deadpool 2. I think it's just as funny as the first, just as good. Don't try to outdo itself. Don't try to go too far with it. Still feels fresh. Still, yeah, it's pretty decent storyline. It's, you know, it's a great comic book movie. And yeah, you're always, as a geek, you're always going to a sequel thinking, oh Christ, here we go. Yeah, the sigh of relief I breathed like 10 minutes in when I realized it was going to be all right. It's all going to be all right.
I love the song as well. It's Celine Dion. Song.
Have you seen the video for that?
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, it's really good.
If you haven't seen it, Ryan Reynolds is in the video for the Celine Dion song as Deadpool, doing this ballet dance and stuff on stage. It's really funny. Yeah, there were loads of little. I mean, even the jokes in it and the self-referencing and, you know, the wall breaking. None of it feels stale. My worry is now that they've waited too long to do a third one. So God knows what's coming because of lockdown and everything. God knows if it's going to turn. I've got a little faith it'll be all right because Deadpool's totally watchable. But
I thought it's going into the Marvel universe now, isn't it?
I've heard little dodgy rumors about that as well. That it might not necessarily be the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool in that world, which I think would be a massive
mistake. Yeah. He is Deadpool.
Yeah. But it depends what they're going to do. I mean, who knows? There's just one Deadpool, isn't there? It's great.
Do you mean the Green Lantern?
Yeah, the Green Lantern. There's only one Green Lantern.
only one person could pull that off.
Amazing references in the credit sequence to all of the old films, and yeah, it's great. It's really good. But I'd like to throw an honourable mention, if I may, as well, towards a film that I really, really dreaded coming out. And it might be controversial. I know some people hate it, some people love it. But for me, again, this film did not deserve to be this good. And that's Blade Runner 2049, which, if you're a fan of the first movie, you should rightfully dread a film like this coming out.
Yeah.
It's not
I
agree
with you. I agree with you. I was pleasantly surprised watching this.
Yeah, it's not perfect.
This is going to be.
It has got a couple of things that are a bit dodgy about it. However, the fact that they pretty much pulled off a sequel to a film that nobody needed a sequel for, nobody was expecting one. They plausibly managed to get Harrison Ford back into the movie, and it makes sense. It's like, for me, it takes the frame of Blade Runner 1 and just opens it up a bit, so you get to see.
He must have been in a good mood, Harrison Ford, when they took them scripts down for this Force Awakens and whatever the hell else he did.
Personally speaking, I think Harrison Ford was around about the time he did Force Awakens, and I think he was just in the mood to cash in. I saw him doing a video. This isn't to do with Blade Runner. This is to do with Star Wars. It was on Graham Norton, I think, and he said, like, what made you come back and do this movie? Like, you said you'd never do Star Wars again. Like, why are you back? And he sort of coughed into his hand and goes like, $27 million. $27 million, maybe do it. For being on screen. How long is Han Solo in that film? Follow me. Half an hour at the most. $27 million for being on screen for half an hour.
You think he'd have pushed for 30, wouldn't you? And
I just think he thought, I'm going to do it, And he's not perfect, is he? I mean, he did Kingdom of the Crystal Skull without a second thought, and that was a pile of shit. So, I think it's money. I think, and I love his honesty about it. I wasn't going to do it. I didn't intend to do it. He hated making the first Blade Runner. It's quite famously something he doesn't really talk about a lot. He didn't get on with the director. He disagreed with decisions that were made about his character, and generally sounds like a bit of a moody pain in the ass in that film to work with. But yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's money.
What about your worst sequel?
Oh, there's many, many worse sequels I could pick. But I went for something. This is the opposite of Deadpool 2. This is why I dread sequels. It's that obvious cash in on the first movie, not much related to the first movie at all, and just shy. And for me, it's Gremlins 2 and any other film like that, where it just shoehorns. It's just an excuse to sell a different couple of styles of gremlin toys, you know what I mean? Oh, here's one with some googly eyes. Here's a lady one. It's just shit. I mean, it's got no merit at all. I'm sure you guys might feel differently about it. I tried to see the good in that film, but it's pretty horrendous.
No, I'm not a fan of Gremlins 2.
I mean, you know what I'm going to say. I don't mind it just because it's all we've got, isn't it? It's all we've got in the Gremlins world.
No, we got Gremlins 1.
Yeah.
Gremlins 1 and 2. Yeah. I mean, the fact that they made it in it's the director who said, I want to put all this crazy shit in it and do it. And they let him do it. So you think,
that's because there's a model for sequels in Hollywood, isn't there? You know what I mean? Well, we'll give you the go ahead to make a sequel, but you got to do this in it. You can't have that guy in it who we don't like. You got to have more of this. We want a lady gremlin. We want a I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter why. It's not a good film. Gremlins is a brilliant film. Great story. It's totally daft, but it's funny where it's supposed to be. It's got some odd choices in there where all of a sudden in the middle of the film it goes a bit dark.
You're on about these.
And it's just, for me, it's got a feel that Gremlins 2 can only ever dream of having. It's just not got any of the magic of the first movie at all. That's why I don't like it.
That's absolutely fair enough. What about you, Lummy? What is your bless you, Webby?
Thank you.
Bless you. Lummy, what was your favourite ever movie? Number 2. Go on.
I feel like I've upset you about Gremlins 2. I feel like you're not talking to me. I feel.
What?
Lummy or me? I agree with you. It's shit.
Yeah, I think you're a bastard.
I didn't make it. I didn't make the movie.
Well, maybe you should have done.
I will. I'll remake it.
No, I'm not bothered. I was just listening to Rich, like
No,
people are meant to. You know what I mean? I wasn't thinking about myself while he was talking. I was thinking,
getting prepared to give his answer. That's all he was trying to do.
I was thinking about what I was saying, and I wasn't like.
Just had a look. I've seen that look before. I don't like upsetting.
I was actually thinking about my answer because when he said this section, he picked a film that I said I want that one, and he went all right. But then when he did his opening thing, he said you can't have one that's a third one in the series. And now I'm thinking, hang on a minute,
what?
Right, basically, ask me what my best one is.
What's your best one?
Right,
you
said second, didn't you?
Yeah.
But then
sequel number 2.
I picked the wrong one then. Because right, when we were talking about this, I picked Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade, and that's the third one.
The third movie.
That's the third movie. But you had that on your list, and you said to me,
"Yeah." No. Do you know what? Do you know why? Because I meant Raiders of the Lost Ark.
It's Temple of Doom, though, isn't it? Right. Anyway, I've got another one. Right now, I'm going to defend this film because it's going to have to be now.
No. Lummy, you can have Last Crusade. Go on, put Last Crusade.
Well,
we know you can do the other one as well. Go on.
Right. Okay. Last Crusade. As far as sequels go, this is better than it should be. Like you were saying with Blade Runner and that. This film's got everything to me, and I still love watching it. It was on this afternoon, actually, unbelievably.
Was it?
Yeah. It was on TV. Yeah, I think, or 6:30 or whatever time it was. But it doesn't matter about the time. But it's a great sequel. It don't deserve to be as good as it is, and it is. And you've got the added bonus of Sean Connery. Love it. Fantastic.
Yeah. It all rests on that premise of the movie could only work if those two are good together, and they pulled it off.
Great. No, it's absolutely brilliant. Their relationship is really, really good. What was the other one, Lummy, that you were going to? What's your favorite number 2?
All right, people hate Ghostbusters 2, and I've always liked it. Ever since I saw it when I was a kid, I had to queue to get in to see this movie when it first came out. The cinemas were full. We had to go to 2 screens, try and get in. Got in, and I absolutely loved the film from start to finish. And people hate it. People ridicule it.
Why do they hate it, Lummy? Why are they hating on Ghostbusters 2? What's the problem?
Because they say it was a cash in, and nobody wanted to make it. And
was it a cash? Yeah, it was a cash in.
Oh, there's a plot, and there's a bad guy, and it's different, and. You've got your favorite characters back.
I really like Ghostbusters 2. It's brilliant.
It's not the best, but it's not as bad as Gremlins 2.
Well, just be lucky I didn't pick Short Circuit 2 because you'd both be upset.
I'd be upset that that's a massively racist film, and it should be confined to the annals. It should be just chucked in the fucking dustbin of horribly misjudged 80s films. It's got a white guy playing an Indian guy in it, man. That's just not cool.
Yeah, we know.
There's
a film though that could do with a fresh coat of paint and a remake, couldn't it? Because
what? Short Circuit?
Yeah, get it remade. Remake all this stuff that doesn't need remaking. Should remake Short Circuit.
I wonder who gets to decide? Can anybody just write a new Short Circuit? Because if so, Lummy, you're a writer. You could just write one and send it to Hollywood.
They won't pick it, would they? They go, hey, we've got our own Short Circuit writers. You get out of here.
I don't think they do have any more Short Circuit writers. Not anymore. I don't think they're just like in a room for every film that ever existed, just in case we want to bring you out again to make that film again. Or to do
they're all there writing a draft for a new Short Circuit film, but not one of them's thought of just rewriting the first film and setting it in a modern age. Done. There you go. Short Circuit.
Short Circuit.
What was your worst sequel, Lummy?
Right, the worst one. Yeah, for the same reasons. Ghostbusters 2. No. Right, this one.
Yeah.
Son of the Mask. Now, my nephew one day was watching this. That's the only reason I've actually seen it, and I didn't make it to the end. It was so bad. What's his name? Who's in it? Jamie
Kennedy.
Jamie Kennedy. Now, there's a documentary about Jamie Kennedy talking about this film and why he don't understand why people hate it so much and hate him. And it basically, it's supposed to be a documentary making him look better than it does, and it doesn't work at all, this documentary.
I'd rather watch the documentary, to be fair.
Yeah, the documentary is a good watch.
You know, that guy is one of them guys who's just born with all the confidence in the world and none of the talent. I've tried to watch him quite a few times in a few different things, and I can't understand how he ended up as the natural choice to replace Jim Carrey in a sequel to a fairly good film.
They were going to make a sequel to The Mask with Jim Carrey. They didn't want to do it, and they got to the point where they were going to. I only read this the other day. They put a competition in this magazine for somebody to win a part as an extra in the film, and they'd done all the pre-production like storyboard and that. And Jim Carrey just turned around and said, "I don't want to do a sequel to The Mask," because he had a clause that he didn't want to. I think it might have been after. Oh no, it would have been after Ace Ventura 2. Will it? I nearly picked Ace Ventura 2 for this, you know.
Did you?
But nearly. But then I thought, no, it's not.
Just got to let the cat out. It's doing me.
But Son of the Mask, and then I've also got this little doozy, Ace Ventura Jr. Have you heard of this?
Yeah.
Jesus, right. For the same reason, just terrible cashing ideas that are just awful.
Yeah, sometimes that's what offends me the most. I think that's the problem with Ghostbusters 2 and Gremlins 2, is when I can smell that the people who made it can't wait to get my £5 or £10 in their pocket. It just offends me. You know what I mean? Don't shit on your own property just because you want my money. Do something good. It's just as easy, surely, to make a good. You've already got the groundwork there for good ideas. The Mask has actually got quite a wealth of storylines as well from the comic book that they could have chosen. You know, but yeah, I mean, I nearly picked Son of the Mask. The only thing that stopped me picking it was I've never seen it, so it wouldn't have been fair. But I know it's famously bad. I worked in a video shop when it came out. You know what I mean? And I remember people bring it like. You were always things like that came out that when people rented them, you just looked at them like, what are you? I was the guy in Clerks, like, what are you? Why do you rent something good? Honestly, I could point out 10 films here that are better than that. Don't waste your time. But yeah,
I mean, it'd be interesting to know if kids like these movies, but it's just like I don't know how I think even kids see through shite. It's like,
you know what they totally do, because all right, I've been reading Robin a lot of Dr. Seuss. I've read it to him since he was tiny, and there are Cat in the Hat cartoons on Netflix, and there's Green Eggs and Ham cartoon, and they're all right actually. They're not bad. Green Eggs and Ham, dude, has got Martin Short in it. It's actually pretty good. Anyway, we were flicking through Netflix, and he saw the Mike Myers Cat in the Hat, and he was like, "Oh look, Daddy, Cat in the Hat. So you want to watch that?" And he was like. Yeah, so I put it on, and 10 minutes in, he just fucking turned around and walked away. I was like,
good day, sir.
Yeah, I was like, yeah,
I'm done.
Yeah.
I mean, when the do you remember, Webb? Actually, you remember this? We went to see Jim Carrey, didn't we? I just remembered The Grinch. We went to see that. Yeah,
we did.
That
was great though. That was fine.
Yeah, at the time.
The little girl in it was a bit weak. There's a bit where she sings a song and it just feels a bit weak.
And everybody in the cinema, you remember, she's just about to sing, and everybody in the cinema like looked at each other and went, "Oh no!" You could tell there was a song coming. Everything went quiet, and then it were about to kick in. You're like, "Oh no, and it happened."
Where are you, Christmas? Yeah, man. I mean, it sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, that film's all right. I mean, I felt sorry for Jim Carrey in that film. In fact, recently I saw him on something. He was sat next to Jeff Daniels. It must have been when they did Dumb and Dumber 2. And he was talking again about the makeup in that and how much it weighed when he put it on, and the fact that he had to go in like 8 hours before they started filming to sit there and get all that plastered on. Yeah, it sounded painful.
Do you know what we should do? Watch this, right? If anybody logs on now, we'll just go like this. So that's our recommendation this week.
Who's the kid?
I don't know. I do not know. But even on the video box, is like, yeah, I'm getting away with this shit, and you're all buying it.
No, why would you wear the same outfit you used to wear when you were a kid? Put the picture back up. Isn't that like an Ace Ventura outfit? He wears them stripy trousers and a flowered shirt. Why would you What are you
Wait,
telling
is
me?
it supposed to be him
No,
when
it's his,
he was a kid? It's
no,
or
it's his
it's
son.
his son.
His son.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, you can see there the little junior right in the paw print. You know, they've tried to disguise it.
Right. Oh yeah.
Right.
It's
Weird.
Ventura Junior.
Wowzers. Well, my favourite sequel is actually quite a tough one this week because there are some really good sequels and there's kind of a lot of choice on both sides. But my favourite sequel, I went for Back to the Future 2, which caused a bit of controversy between Webby and me the other night because he prefers Back to the Future 3. I just thought Back to the Future
So controversial.
I just thought
Wow. Steady on.
We nearly fell out on me. It's been 25 years of friendship, and I was like, look, you like 3, I like 2. I can't do this anymore.
Fuck Back to the Future 3.
No, I know what I actually said was I do like Back to the Future 2. I just prefer the third one. I always have done. I don't know why. I think it's the age I was when it came out. I was really, really excited. It was like 1989, 1990. And I was it was in that heyday of going to the cinema all the time as a kid. And yeah.
All right, let's see what Rich thinks of it.
I like the darkness of Back to the Future 2. I think it's yeah, no, it is. It's a lot more dark, especially than the first one. And I think it shows actually a side of the world that maybe we're seeing an element of that now. You know, obviously when he goes back and Biff's got all that money and is his stepdad and all that sort of stuff. I think it's brilliant. It's a really good film. I really enjoyed it.
I can't lie. I love the second movie as well. I think it's a great trilogy. You know, it always has been for me. I always go back to the Future.
Back to the Future. I love it. I love them. Do you know what I love about the second one? The fact that they go into the first movie as well. It's such a clever idea that, and nobody's really. I can't think of any other things that do that.
Bloody balls, hasn't it? It's got a lot of skill.
The way that they've done it incredibly well.
Yeah, and they did it without having Crisp and Glover in it as well, which is even more amazing.
Yeah.
In it, yeah, they really got a way around that.
Yeah, it's like wow,
it's crazy.
From just like fading out of the shot at the right time and stuff, and like it's unbelievable.
Getting George McFly to come in and he's done his backing, isn't he? And he's upside down on that back. You can't actually see his face properly, and his voice kind of sounds like George McFly, so you don't even think about it. What I love about it is the amount of people that Michael J. Fox plays in that movie. And he plays his own sister and stuff. And you actually, when he comes down the stairs and he looks around, he goes, he's looking, and you're thinking, she's actually quite hot. Michael J. Fox in drag. What does that say about me?
Michael J. Foxy. And my worst sequel, and this one surprised Lummy, I know that. And it's now this is only because I didn't take it personally. I don't want to be one of those fans like, it's not the film that I wanted. But it's Spider-Man Far From Home. The first one was such a great film. It was amazing. The first one is actually my favorite Spider-Man film. So I had huge expectations for the sequel. And it ended up being just like a generic, okay, we've done our bit here, now we're going to go on holiday and watch him do his bit. And I was just really disappointed. And I'd paid to rent it. No, I think I bought it, which was like extra sort of salt in the wound. It's all right, but it's not what I want.
I kind of agree with you because it is not the greatest. And I think you're right in that it felt like they just coasted. They thought, well, we've done that so well. We just shit out another one and it'll be fine. But I honestly can't say that Spider-Man Far From Home is worse than bloody many other sequels. It's for me, I mean, it's almost passable. Almost. There's a couple of things in it that I'm not keen on, but it's almost good.
I just don't remember being as disappointed by a sequel as I was that one. And I think that's why I chose it. Yeah, there are way worse sequels out there, but I was just so disappointed because the first one was so good. What do you think, Lummy?
I mean, Spider-Man's my favourite superhero, so I give it a pretty pass on everything, really. Even that amazing Spider-Man 2, which I thought was pretty garbage.
For me, that was
I'd say that was a worse Spider-Man sequel actually than this. You know?
But this is my in his mind.
Yeah, but also because the first one was so much better than any other Spider-Man film we've ever seen. You know, which is why I had really high expectations, and that's my issue. You know,
it's quite a recent disappointment as well, isn't it? So it's fresh in your mind as something.
Well, no, I did struggle. I did struggle to pick a worse sort of second.
Yeah.
Film.
It's
there's a lot of bad movies, isn't there? There's a lot of bad movies out there. A lot of bad
it should be said as well. There's a hell of a lot of good sequels that we haven't mentioned. Again, honourable mentions for me with the worst sequel. I was going to say I already shat on The Matrix last week, so I didn't want to do it again. But the sequel to The Matrix and the third film to The Matrix were so bad they made the first film shit. You cannot watch that first film because they fucking ruined it with the extra sequel. It was just so unnecessary. And I think it's a case of people going absolutely bonkers when they're making a film. I can't explain it. I can't understand.
I remember going to see second Matrix. What are it called?
Reloaded.
Oh, bloody no. But I remember going to see it and thinking, where did all this stuff come out of the first film I watched it, I thought it was quite a contained thing and you felt like they were on their own, didn't they? And the second one, they obviously made all this shit ton of money and do what they always do, throw a load of money at it and you go, oh, I just remembered a really bad sequel. Oh, anyway.
It's quite interesting.
Right. Blair Witch 2, have you ever seen that?
Oh, no. Yeah. Book of Shadows.
Oh, it is. You just reminded me because that's exactly what happened with that. Blair Witch made a load of money and they made a really bad sequel with all the money and it was terrible. It was just a generic horror.
It was, awful. Yeah. Do you know what? So it's so bad that even the porno they made of that, I remember at the time it came out when I worked just after I worked at the cinema, worked at my first video shop, and the Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows was out, and the porno, the soft porn that came out to follow it was so bad. The title was the laziest title ever. It was called Blair Witch.
Blair Witch. Oh,
no, it's not even that. It's the Blair Witch 2 Book of Shagging. Like the laziest.
Where did you work? I thought you worked at Blockbuster.
I did work at Blockbuster. Now in Blockbuster, they never used to give you any R-rated porn. It was always soft porn that you could watch with your kids at home. You know. Family porn.
Hey Timmy, it's family porn night, Timmy. Go pick a movie.
You know what? I love it when you finally get a director that sticks to the guns and refuses to let people sequelize the movie. Now I've said that, before you started talking about Blair Witch, I actually had a name in mind I've completely forgotten about. But it does happen occasionally where the director's like, no, you are not making a sequel to my perfectly fine, successful movie. Big Lebowski is one of them. People wanted a sequel for that for so long. John Turturro, who plays Jesus in that movie, the bowling paedophile, he shoehorned a sequel out of it. That character, Jesus, has got his own film. And it only came out like last year or 2 years ago. It was very, very recent. And the write-ups are so bad for it that you just think, that's why they said no, idiot. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's just nice when people actually defend their work and like, no.
Well, that's the good thing about Back to the Future. It's safe, isn't it? It's protected.
Yeah.
They can't remake it. They can't do anything with it.
Shawshank Redemption. Can't sequelize that. What are they going to do? Green Mile. Can't do that one either.
No, but you could reboot it. Remile. Remile. Anyway. Well, thank you very much for your suggestions there, gentlemen. Awesome work. Now we have tasked ourselves with the challenge of going back and having a retrospective look at a different film every single week. We've decided to do alternate weeks for the Star Wars franchise because there are 9 of them. So 2 weeks ago we did The Phantom Menace, and we haven't learned our lesson because this week we have had a look at Attack of the Clones, episode 2. Well, I guess we're going to go through this in order. So there's the title sequence. But initial, how did you go into this, gents? In what sort of frame of mind? How are you feeling about watching this one again?
I've not seen it for a while. I was quite happy to go watch it again. I've not seen it for years, so yeah.
I've only seen it once, so I watched it I
Right.
watched it on Thursday night, I think.
Hmm.
What are you, Nathan?
I went into it with tried to go in with with an open mind, but it was a heavy heart. Really, I went into it with
just this foreboding.
It's not so long ago that I rewatched them again, because I told you last time then when we were talking about Phantom Menace, I watched it a few weeks back because I just wanted to. Just thought I'd give it a go, give it a try. I didn't know before we did the show, so I didn't know I was to be, revisiting it. So I knew what to expect, and as positive as I wanted to be about it, it's difficult with this. This movie sucks so much ass. It's just rotten to the core.
I mean, keep an open mind.
I did. It's not my again, Lummy. I didn't make it. I know you feel the need to defend this piece of shit, but it's not.
I don't feel the need to defend it. I just there's as we were talking about just now. There's worse movies when you watch this stuff. There is worse.
There are worse root movies, but when it comes to positive things to say about this movie, I'm done in 30 seconds. Just like my sex life. Boom. Christopher Lee, fine. Yeah, he's all right.
Well, are we going to do what we usually do?
Okay, let's go through it, because I certainly did not mind this film anywhere near as much as I thought I was going to. So,
that's what I wanted. To be fair, that's what I hoped for myself.
Right, let's go through it then, Lummy. What we got? So we got
So it starts off with the crawl, blah blah blah. We find out what's been going on. The first shot is this ship coming into Coruscant or whatever the hell you say it like. Yeah, you love this bit. You love the ship coming in. Yeah, right. And it goes on the landing platform, and it blows up. Basically, there's a big attack. What they say is a terrorist attack trying to destroy Padme, because she was on the ship, but a decoy got killed instead.
So this is actually Lucas was inspired by the assassination of the Archduke Franz Ferdinand. And that is what he was going for, is trying to get a kind of feeling of the enormity of that, something that was then going to start a giant war.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they go see Palpatine, the Jedi, are there with him. He's in the office now. He's got a bit of power behind him. They're all sat there going, "What we're going to do?" The Queen, Amidala, who's a senator, not the Queen now, should have pointed that out. She comes in and talks to them. They said, "Oh, we just heard you were nearly killed." And she's like, "Yeah, what are you going to do about it?" They say, "Maybe we can sort this out for you. We'll assign..." Oh, it's Palpatine in it who says, "We'll assign Obi-Wan Kenobi to you to protect you."
Can I just stop you there for a second? Because I just noticed in the background there, it's quite hard to see. Yeah, Jar Jar's... it's so bad in the first movie that they only let him speak for about 10 seconds in this movie.
But he has a pivotal role in this movie.
It does.
Have you seen when I'm getting these stills? Have you seen that lass on the left there? It looks like she's just an extra at Star Trek for some bizarre reason. That's like what's on the wrong set.
The blue lady.
Yeah, it looks like a Star Trek person to me. That, not a Star Wars.
A bit of side boob there. A bit of alien side boob.
Yeah,
I've noticed that before.
Also, her makeup's gone on the side of that collar there, so that's a poor job. Anyway, right, then so they say Obi-Wan's going to look after you, blah, 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 and we go, "Oh, Obi-Wan, all right, we know who he is, but who's this kid with him?" And they're in lift going up, and they're cracking wise about old adventures that we've not seen that might have been interesting to watch, actually. Anakin's here, all grown up, even though
insanely unlikable straight away. I mean, I know obviously they're foreshadowing what he's going to end up being, but
that's accidental.
He's insanely unlikable.
Yeah,
I mean,
poor kid.
I mean, wow. I mean, like a huge responsibility on his shoulders, but
he doesn't feel like he's comfortable in the role to me at all. It feels like he's like, "Oh God, what am I doing here?" But
you know what?
The conversation they're having about falling into a nest of Gundarks.
Yeah.
Can I just ask? You might know this, Lummy, because you know a lot more about the law than I do. The lore of Star Wars than I do. But is a Gundark a pre-existing thing, or did they make it up for this? Because it sounds a bit like they're just talking shit about things that don't. Do you know what I mean? So the reason you don't see this fight and them falling into a nest of Gundarks is because they've only just invented a Gundark for this one line in the film. What's a Gundark?
I honestly don't know.
Damn it, Lummy.
It's probably invented. I mean, we'd have to Google it.
Can't be bothered.
Don't know. Gundark. Don't know.
Anyway,
but I was just going to say, I feel sorry for anybody who's an actor in Star Wars, because the amount of shit that comes with that. You know, you're signing your life for it should be in the contract. By the way, you will get a load of shit for being in this movie. Sign on the dotted line. You know, you need extra money for the hassle you get, don't you? So yeah, like you said, this guy doing it, Hayden Christensen. I mean, he's getting a chance to play it again, isn't he? And so that's going to be interesting. I do say that. So you're going to see them together again, which
I mean, it'll be easier for him because he's playing Darth Vader in the first couple of years of being Darth Vader. So he'll be behind a mask. So it's easy enough.
It might not. It might not be. I reckon they're going to take his mask off all the way through it. I reckon he's going to be. Yeah.
That won't be Darth Vader, though, would it?
I know, but they'll find a way.
Yeah, but then we're going to find a way of saying, well, how's he breathing? He needs that fucking mask on to breathe. You've just spent like
it might go. Obi-Wan, you're going down. Hang on. There you go.
Yeah, it might. Yeah.
Or maybe he's got like a little inhaler.
Yeah.
A little shove off of his face.
Hey, he's got a little inhaler, so he sort of starts talking and he's like
a thing.
Anyway, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. Or like a breathing tube like that. In the original concept art, they did have like a tube like that around there. I think there were stormtroopers. So maybe
just if anybody from Star Wars is watching, just as you're writing this Obi-Wan, I'd like you to bear in mind that if he removes his mask and he hasn't got a bit of stubble, that's just silly. He must have a bit of facial hair under his mask. How could he be completely clean shaven?
He uses his lightsaber to have a bit of
a or force. Just forces all hairs out of his face. They just ping out. I don't
force
know.
wax. Right. Let's right then. So they go to see, Amidala, Padme, and he's really creepy straight away to her.
Oh my god! And they're like,
a kid who had been
I remember you. I remember you in my dreams every night.
When I'm wanking.
I will say he's very quick. He's very quick to talk about his dreams in this to anybody who will listen. Obi-Wan, Padme, Jar Jar even gets a bit of a.
Padme, you've just dropped something. Oh, just pick it up. Oh, you're just like, I remember you in my dream last night. So fuck off, you creepy bastard. And there's this kid who'd been brought up by his mum and the relationship that he had with his mum. You think this kid is going to have so much respect for women.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Deleted scene as well where he sat down on having a quiet moment with R2 and he's like, R2, man, what am I going to do about these dreams? I can't stop dreaming about Padme. And he's just like, bleep. I don't know. Fucking get over it. It's odd. There's some odd choices. And what's weird?
Well, that's a really good point. That's a really good phrase to use of this film. There's some weird, poor choices in it. There's some very strange, and we'll talk about them.
In a love story between him and Padme, almost everything that comes out of this guy's mouth is fucking repellent and creepy as hell. And
there are so many red flags. Yeah, there are so many red flags with this lady. And it's like the way he's in a moment, the way he speaks to Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And it's just so many. Yeah. Sorry, Lummy, carry on.
He'd get a scolding money. We'll talk about more creepy moments, so there's loads to come. Don't worry about that. Right then, so we see this assassin lady. I think she's called Zamweasel, but she's a changeling. That's what we find out.
Yeah.
This assassin droid sends assassin droid to go to Padme's apartment complex, and it sends these little slug things. I don't know if you can see on image there. It sends slugs out to have a look round and try and kill her.
They are really creepy, and it was that was quite well done. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, and I liked that R2 was security and they had laser beams on the floor and all that.
That's great.
So they sense it as Jedi's go, something's going on, and they run in. He whacks him with his lightsaber, and then Obi-Wan decides to jump through the window and grab hold of the droid, which we got a shot of that there. So that's flying around the city, which we'd not seen up until this point. Coruscant properly, had we? I don't know how you say it.
I still feel like I haven't seen it. I still feel like I haven't seen it because for me, there's so much CGI in it. It's hard for me to focus my eye on any particular area. Do you know what I mean? So, but anyway, it's nice to go to different planets.
But it's like any sort of generic futuristic. It's like Fifth Element. It's like Back to the Future a little bit. Where you just got all these flying Jetsons. It's just that's pretty much what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely right. So they grab a speeder. Oh, Anakin grabs a speeder. Sorry, goes and grabs Obi-Wan after the assassin tries to shoot him down. All that business. You've got all this stuff going on. All these wisecracks about don't do this anymore. I hate it when he does that. All that shite.
Yeah, but he says that after a point where he can't possibly have done that particular move.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he jumps out of the car onto the top of the hill. He goes, "I hate it when he does that." And you're like, "How many times? How many times has he done it?
Yeah.
How many times has he left you in your car and jumped out of it? Yeah, how many times? More than twice. If you say I hate it when he does that, that means
it would have
made more than twice. You're right.
More sense if before they got in the speeder, he said, "Anakin, if you jump out this fucking thing again, I'm gonna go nuts." Because you're always jumping out.
Yeah.
It would have made a little more sense.
Seatbelt on.
Yeah.
Do you think, right, they mistook C-3PO's line in this for Obi-Wan? Because Obi-Wan says loads of times, I don't like flying, I hate flying. But I don't know where they've got that from. You think, is that something that, I don't know, because don't 3PO say in episode 4, I've forgotten how much I hate space travel. Yeah, he doesn't mention it at all in this. And Obi-Wan's saying it all the way through. And I'm thinking, as George Lucas,
the difference between being a droid, probably magnetically sealed to a ship like the blockade runner from A New Hope, that's probably like traveling as smooth as it can possibly be. So I don't think he means I hate bouncing around in space. Maybe he hates the inconvenience of travel. Like he hates the queues, he hates having to get his passport out all the time. He hates
when his ears pop, when he go in the gravity, yeah.
I just wonder why Obi-Wan
said sweet, exactly.
The airplane food that comes out, he hates all that. Maybe
I hate the rigmarole of flying.
Yeah,
but I didn't know why Obi-Wan said it. I was just like, why is he not like?
Don't he fly a ship in this movie and the next movie?
But he says again later on.
I don't.
I really hate flying.
No.
I ain't getting no plane. I think.
Exactly. So first time we see a lightsaber in this film is when he shoves it through cockpit.
But
then she like knocks out his hand.
Dream he had the other night.
Yeah, I always dream about lightsabers in my hands going off. It's like what? So it flies off and Obi-Wan catches it. You have another gag. I hate it when he loses his lightsaber and it flies through space and I catch it in one hand. All that business. Then he blasts the controls. The ship goes down, hits the bottom of Coruscant, wherever they are, and it's like a nightclub area. And they're going to the club. There's a joke where
they dress well for clubbing.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
they're both cameos recently.
A lot of cameos in this club as well.
Yeah, one of the dudes from the Matrix is in it, isn't he? The mouse from the Matrix is the guy who tries to sell him the death stick. Want to buy some death sticks?
And his creation as well. The lady who he creates is also in it. But it's also Anthony Daniels has a cameo in it. So does Ahmed Best. He has a cameo. Jar Jar. Katie Lucas, George Lucas's daughter, is in it as well.
His son's in it as well.
Later on, his son is in the library scene. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So this scene, what did you think of this? Where he chops his hand off and all that, and
yeah, I liked it. I
thought it wasn't bad. That I hate it when they chop hands off.
Star Wars films
I hated when he chops hands off with no warning. Oh.
Hang on.
I mean, they are quite formulaic, we need a sort of Mos Eisley Cantina type scene. Here you go. Here's a nightclub in a sort of
but for some reason, dude, for me, walking into picturing like walking into Mos Eisley would feel like Star Wars, whereas picturing walking into this nightclub don't feel like it's in. We talked about this before. For me,
with the casino in the
with the casino, with the nightclub, with the diner that's in this movie as well. Whenever they put Earth scenarios in it, it just feels a bit shit for me.
I mean, so people got to eat. People have got to eat, Webb.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean? Where are they going to eat?
They eat off plastic trays and they eat grey goop.
We'll get to all this. Right then. So after that, they go outside and the track her down, obviously, and she gets shot by this little dart thing. And you see, who is he? Fly off. He flies off. You go, who's that? Oh, it's a bounty hunter. He's flown off. We'll find out later, obviously. So he goes, where's this dart from? And they don't know, so they're going to find out. They go back to the Jedi Council and they tell them what's happened. They tell Obi-Wan to go find who the assassin was, basically. And they tell Anakin, this is the first mistake of the movie they're making. They say to Anakin to go look after the Queen, Padme. Go with her.
Shagger.
Yeah, whatever you do. And then they're all,
for goodness sake,
they're all in here going, yeah, I hope. Oh, I don't trust her to go with him, but we'll have to do this. I mean, do you think?
Don't you? You know why they've split Obi-Wan and Anakin up? Because if he doesn't knock Padme up and they've seen the future, then they can't have Luke and Leia. So it cocks up the whole storyline. But also, they know that Obi-Wan is a massive cock blocker. He'd just be like trying to stop Anakin getting his end away all the time.
Yeah.
Do you think? And then Anakin says, I hate it when he stops me trying to get my end away, or something like that. I don't know.
I mean, do you think they should have said Obi-Wan in Anakin's place and vice versa? Do you think that'd have worked?
I mean, not for the grand narrative, no, but sure. In the short term, yeah, why not?
They should have done it, right?
Yeah.
All right. Obi-Wan goes to his mate in this diner. Web hates. And he goes, "Hey, what's this? Only you know this. What this is?" And he's like, "Hey, Obi-Wan," like that.
Yeah. Have you seen he's got a little motif on his shirt as well, like a Lacoste or something? Go back to that picture. It looks like one of those creatures from Naboo.
Oh yeah. You're right.
So that sets up this whole premise that they've got a clothing empire. You know, there's the Levi's in the Star Wars world. That things are designed. You know what I mean? Han Solo's jeans are from Next.
I mean, is there a spin-off movie here with this guy? Is he going to turn up in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series? It's possible. Nope. It's possible.
Yeah, of course it is. You know what? Even if he did, it probably would be way better than it was in this movie.
I mean, he knows him. He knows him. He's like an old friend. This guy, isn't he? He's like, apparently. So pleased. It's the only time Obi-Wan cracks a smile pretty much in the thing where he sees him and he goes, "Hey, my old mate," and he's like, "Obi-Wan," and he's like, "Yeah." Anyway, right. Yeah. Worst character ever coming up in this. I hate this woman. This Jedi librarian. She's a right bitch.
Mm-hmm. So that building is based on the design at the Dublin College, the library at Dublin College. So
there's some of the busts as well that are around. There's George Lucas and Christopher Lee.
Right.
Those busts you can see behind.
Oh, yeah. One of those busts is a bust of Dooku. Yeah.
But isn't it funny how librarians in the galaxy look exactly like librarians on Earth? She looks just like the librarian from Ghostbusters.
But isn't she a bitch in that scene? She's like, it's trying to find planets. She's like, if it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist. Oh, God. And you're like, whoa. There's no way for a librarian.
The thing is, as well, if you believed her, then it'd be fucked.
Yeah.
Just because you're a librarian don't mean you know everything, lady. Let me do some research. Because if you tell me to believe that, I'm just going to end the movie here. There's nowhere to go.
Right, next scene then, after this, right, he goes, I don't know how to find this planet. I'm going to go ask Yoda. Now, this scene, Webb, this must have melted your stone-cold heart. All the little Jedi kids training with Yoda.
Yeah, it was quite sweet. Yeah, it's sweet, that. Yeah, I'll give you that one. I'll allow it.
You'll allow that. Because I've got to say, watching that again, I thought, this is all right, this is all right. And the kids' answer, it makes sense. It's been taken from archive.
Even for me, even when something is right in this movie, There's something wrong about it that draws my eye. And with this, it's the terrible CGI Yoda. It looks shit.
Now, the reason they have this CGI Yoda is because they'd had so many complaints about the puppet version in the Phantom Menace. They based the CGI version on the original Yoda, but it's just a bit shiny, isn't it?
Have you seen that puppet version? It is bad.
Yeah.
But the reason it's bad is because they're trying to de-age him a bit, and they put he's got more hair, and it's a bit longer, and it does look off. You're right. So make
an earring.
They'd make a better puppet.
Yeah,
that's what they did with the Rise of the Skywalker. That was the Last Jedi. Even that was clearly the best bit in that movie was having Frank Oz back and him with his hand up a Muppet doing Yoda properly. You know, it was great. It was absolutely great.
So all right, we're not talking about that. We're talking about this.
I know, but all I'm saying is spending millions of dollars making a CGI Yoda, and this will come back up again because he's in this film quite a lot, and it doesn't look good ever. So, you know, I'm just saying he could have done it. Sometimes the simplest answer is the right answer.
I mean, I don't know if they've done the
right. It was crap.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
The new
right. We'll keep going. All right. Calm down. Keep going. Right. Then they go to Naboo.
I've been there.
To Italy.
I've been to this palace that they're at. It's filmed in Seville. I've been there.
All right.
Yeah. It's in Spain. It's in Seville. It's beautiful, man. In fact, there's a deleted scene which I saw last night. I was looking for some, extra bits where they turn up on the planet and they're walking across the square by the fountain. And I think they might have taken it out because it just looks a little too much like it's on Earth. There's some CGI backgrounds of like Star Warsy stuff in the back, but it just looks a little bit like
a bull walks along in the background. Somebody running.
Is there a Jabba the Hutt that they have to step over like CGI?
But yeah, I've actually been to that place. It's beautiful.
I just thought of something. When we get to the original trilogy, by the way, what we're going to do? Which version are we going to watch? There's about 7 different versions. I've just thought of that. Of it then. What do we do?
Yeah.
We
I don't know if we need an answer right now.
No, I'll just when you panic about something like,
we're at least 3 weeks away from that.
Since we've all got Disney Plus at the minute, I think we should just watch whatever versions on Disney Plus. I've got quite a few different versions of them. I've got the theatrical cut that came out on DVD. It's awful. It's not awful. It's really dark. It's really, really dark. So all the things I was expecting to see in there when they took the bits of Mos Eisley out, it's just there's nothing there. It's really, really sparse and really dark. So, it's got the remakes or the new scenes and stuff. They've got some merit, some of them.
All right. Right then. So they go to a home planet and they go to a lakeside place, I guess. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan is he goes to Camino. That's what it's called, isn't it? Camino, and he meets this. He meets this Camonian, whatever the fuck it's called. So I don't know if that's the name. He takes her to. He takes him to see, or she takes him to see the Prime Minister of this place, who says, "We've had an order for a clone army of one of your Jedi Masters for years." He's like, "Oh yes, I knew all about that." And you're like, if they must be thick as fuck to not see through him, lying about it. But anyway, they go show him this clone army, and it's all these guys all lining up, ready for battle. Even though, I don't know about you guys, but would you take an order for a giant shipment and not see the person who's bought it for 10 years and keep making them?
Yeah, exactly. It's good. They haven't been in touch for a little while. Do you want to just send them an email?
10 years is a long time.
Yeah. First year in, the supervisor guy comes to see the president and he's like, we keep making them. They aren't showing up. We've got thousands of these. I'll trust them. They'll be fine. They're totally trustworthy.
Yeah.
But what do they call the guy that they've got the order from?
Cypher Diaz, he says. Cypher Diaz.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a Cypher? Yes. Now, this originally was a spelling mistake when he was writing.
Yeah. Originally, it was going to be
Psychedius.
Sidious.
So, if you're going to use a fake name, at least did he get there, Sidious, and go, "My name is Fididius. And they're like, what?
Wemperor Walperween.
But he does say later, doesn't he? Master Cypherdius was killed, so it was a real Jedi. And the only Jedi I don't think he was in it is that guy in episode 1 with the giant neck and the head. So maybe he was Jedi Master Cypher. We don't know. But I mean, how easy were he to kill? You lob his head off. It's a sitting duck, that head.
I think Cypherdius was turned into a bad guy in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, he's in the cartoons. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it? And he got imprisoned for like years and years and years. He was
So do we find out? We don't find out in the film, but what is that all? That's all Palpatine's doing. Then he does this, doesn't he?
He do it all, yeah. He do it
all. Right. So after that scene, then let's keep going. We cut to one of the most cringy bits in it. This field thing.
The fucking rolling around.
Oh God, it's really yeah.
Now I didn't mind the first bit where they're talking to each other. There's some all right back and forth there, but then you get the worst CGI in the entire thing. This, and I had to get a still of this because it's
and
like
he's riding on. Yeah.
It's awful. It's like they don't seem to be able to have somebody riding on the back of anything in anything. It's weird.
Do you know what? What's really strange as well is they're not satisfied with shitty CGI. They've got to like piss all over the script as well. Like the script does not help it by being good or being interesting or funny or sweet or anything. It's just shockingly bad. I mean, I know we're all thinking it. Can I be the first person to say, I hate sand? I hate sand.
That's later.
We'll monologue get to that. About sand.
Oh, it is about this time, isn't it? Actually,
it is, because they're all roughed up, and he's trying to win her over by complaining about sand getting in his crotch and stuff. I think what actually he nearly dropped his guard, and what he was going to say was, "I hate sand people. I'm going to go fucking murder them all." But he caught himself, and so he was, "I hate sand. I hate sand.
Sandwiches.
Sandy. I hate Sandy Toxvig."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh," he's like, "No, can I stroke your skin weirdly?" Another weird bit where he strokes her skin and like she's wearing that top and he's like down her back and she's like, "What are you doing?"
They've left like the reactions from Natalie Portman in there where she just looks like she's looking at him like, "What?
Stop it!
Yeah, give up. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's all it's wrong.
I've always wanted a guy that hates sand.
Right, but then after that, after he falls off the thing and they have a roll in the grass and have a bit of a laugh, we come back to Obi-Wan and he meets Jango Fett. Here we go, and Boba Fett actually. But yeah, so obviously Mandalorian fame now. That paycheck's coming in for him. He's like, yes.
I mean, is it worth mentioning as well that they've made the Camino people? The species that live on the planet, not Boba Fett and the clones, but the people, they've actually modeled them on what people thought that aliens looked like for like the first time in Star Wars, which is quite an achievement when you've made that many monsters and things. To actually do that, it's almost a spot-on design of what your classic tinfoil hat wearing UFO lover thinks an alien looks like.
I think they're called grey aliens, those ones.
I think you're right, yeah.
Greys. So anyway, he says, I like the line in this where he goes, "Always a pleasure to be the Jedi." Like, because you're like, they're going to go at it because they know, don't they? They're both looking at each other, going, "I know it were you on that planet who assassinated that. Don't even try and tell me it wasn't you. I saw you take off with your jetpack."
Yeah. It's like, something that's all so thin, isn't it? The plots in this are so thin. Like you say, I mean, them not noticing that Obi-Wan's nothing to do with this Jedi or this clone army order. And he's like, I've got...
Yeah. I mean, he didn't even try and do his wavy hand on him.
No, he didn't need to. They were like, I'm just going to do some quick thinking here. Yeah, I've got an army on order.
Right, so after that we go back to Anakin cockblock. Oh no, he's not cockblock, it's Obi-Wan cockblocking it. And they got this scene where this is my favorite line, where he says, "I wish I could wish my feelings away." Why did they not write something? I just thought, I mean, I don't get it. I don't get this bit. What I wish my I don't know.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
And again, like put something else on, Padme. This guy's a weirdo. Is it?
Some clothes
Yeah. Do not wear like some, like, I don't know, some like basque thing or some like, It's like you're not helping.
Maybe she's just one of those women that really likes dark guys, moody guys. You know, I don't know. I honestly can't see any point where she thinks it's a good idea to shag this guy. You know what I mean? It's just no merit at all in it. It's odd.
So anyway, right. So they have another conversation there about we can't be together because you're a Jedi, I'm a senator. And he goes, "You're right. All right, we'll forget that. We'll just get on we'll be friends." Then Obi-Wan, let's think here what happens. Right, Obi-Wan reports back to Yoda and Mace Windu, and he says, "I've found this bounty hunter. There's a clone army order. Who's this Cypher-Dias guy? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah." And they say, "Go get Jango Fett. Let's have a word with him. Go get him in."
Is that the bit, by the way, and it's worth mentioning, where Samuel L. Jackson pretty much says to you as an audience,
yes,
nobody ever pick up on this, that the Jedis have fucking lost their powers.
Yeah.
The
ability to use the Force has deteriorated.
Diminished or deteriorated.
Diminished.
Yeah,
you're right.
So even the trainee Jedis are all weak sauce, man. So
that's because of Palpatine, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, of course it is.
He's got like dark side.
What Qui-Gon Jinn was talking about. Well, not that he talks about, but the theory that Qui-Gon Jinn is they're too distracted, they're too political, they're not they're not concentrating on.
Reach is right though. Reach is right. They've got Palpatine sat there in their midst, and Yoda says all the way through it, he goes, "The dark side clouds everything." So obviously, if he sat there now, this comes back to an episode 8 idea that J.J. Abrams, this one floating around, said about the dark side and the light side controlling things from them islands, which I thought were a great idea. But I'm still trying to find that synopsis for that to have a look at. We should do that if we can find it. Anyway, but yeah, so there's a dark side presence in there. Maybe that affects things, like with Dagobah, with the cave and all that. Anyway, right. So we find out that Anakin has nightmares about his mother
and
sand getting in his shoes.
Yeah,
he's like, sand gets everywhere.
When I'm not dreaming about you, I'm dreaming about fucking sand.
So I mean, he's a bit of a dreamer, is our Anakin, and he's dreaming all the time. I was amazed.
He's asleep all the time for some Jesus. Wake up, Anakin.
Yeah. Wake up and smell the coffee, Mrs. Skywalker. Anakin has been absent 9 times.
How can
and then he's Jedi
be expected to go to the Jedi Temple on a day like today?
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now. It's in front of me. Boom, 8, 7, 6.
Oh man, we should totally do a version of Ferris Bueller. This works.
Anakin Skywalker's day off.
Yeah, he steals Obi-Wan's dad's land speeder. And instead of Mexican guys at the car park, it's like Jawas.
Right. So, oh god, right. Okay, we go back. Right, Anakin's had his dreams again. He says, I want to go see my mother. She's like, let's go see her. You've got to protect me. I'll go to Tatooine with you. And he's right, all right, let's go. Then it cuts back to Obi-Wan. He's taking on Jango Fett. They have a big battle. You get to see, actually, I quite like this bit because you got to see a load of Jango Fett's bits and pieces on his pack and all that.
Jango's bits.
Yeah, you get to see his bits.
The fact that they have a bit of balls and so I can say a lot about how bad the movie is, but their scope of ambition is massive, right? So to get to a point where you've got enough, you're good enough at CGI that you can do an entire movie and blend it in there. On the second movie, in that fight sequence, it's raining, and that's a difficult effect to pull off. And it doesn't look too shit, It's just the scope of them. You've got to give them props for having ambition to do a fight like that in a CGI rainstorm. You can actually see raindrops plopping off of Slave One and off several people's helmets and stuff. And I think in there even little touches like when the lightsaber goes through, the lightsaber's steaming in the rain and stuff.
It's cool. So Boba Fett takes a few pop shots at Obi-Wan out of Slave One. He's in there flying it while Jango Fett's taking him on as well. And then after all that big fight, and he manages to throw the little tracking device on the side of Slave One so he can follow it. Then we do you want to say anything more about that or not?
No, at all.
No. Sneaky nice little Jedi move. That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, pretty good. Then we come back to Tatooine. If we see our old friend Watto, he's upgraded a bit with a beard and a hat.
Is he homeless now? Is he being made
It looks like it. I think so. Yeah, because he's on the side of the street.
Ruin him.
Yeah, pod race. Yeah,
maybe that's it. Yeah, the results of that bet fuck this guy's life up completely.
Yeah, but he recognises Anakin again. Everybody recognises him, don't they, as well? But like, it's how many years? 10 years later, and they just go, Anakin? And he's like, yeah, it's me. Have I told you how much I dream? Whoa! I'm amazed he didn't tell Watto.
Last time I saw you had a bowl cut. Now you've got a gypsy plot.
I dreamed about this place. You were in my dreams, Watto, and you, and the Tin Man. Right, so we cut back. So he says, he wants to find out what happened to his mother. So Watto says, I sold her to the Lars family, basically. Yeah, this guy. So go find him, and he says, all right, I'll go find him. Cheers. And then you cut back, and Obi-Wan's having a fight with Jango Fett in the asteroid field. He uses that seismic.
He's following him.
Yeah, I know. Bit weird that. After, I don't know.
Anyway, then he pulls up a classic move, doesn't he? And Django's ship hides behind an asteroid, a la Millennium Falcon style.
Yeah. And do we think that's why he knows to follow him in Empire Strikes Back? Do we think that? Because he's seen that move before.
Yeah. Right. Boba learns from his dad. Yeah.
It's like, I've seen this before. Right. So after that, Obi-Wan hides on the rock. There's a really cool seismic charge thing that's used in Mandalorian as well. We get to see that. I didn't get a picture though, because
Sorry, Mandalorian.
I'm just going to dream it.
I've dreamed about seismic charges. Right, so we cut back to Tatooine and we see 3PO for the first time in this film, and he's got his coverings on this time now. Interestingly enough, there was a deleted scene where Padme put the coverings on him, and originally it was in his old skin, but then they decided that by now he would have had them put on. So there you go. That's why that looks so bad, that shot, and it's a green screen to hell.
Oh yeah.
They literally had to film him on a green screen and shove him in. Anyway, they sit around the table and
why is he lead coloured? Why ain't he gold yet?
Because he needs some new armor. They can't afford gold armor on a bloody.
I don't know. Is C-3PO made of solid gold, or is he just painted gold? It makes more sense to paint him gold, right?
He's probably painted, yeah. I don't know.
Maybe they just painted him there.
Maybe they buy gold parts like every now and again.
Dude, that is the best line. Just skipping ahead a couple of movies. That's the best line in that in the one that in the later Jedi film that you don't like, Lummy. Is it Force Awakens where he goes, "Oh yeah, he probably didn't recognize me because of my red arm." I thought that was a great line. But anyway,
right. So sat around the table. We've got this. So the guy in the middle is this Klieg Lars. He's called. He's Anakin's mother's new husband, and they've got Beru and Owen sat there as well. We find out them who are they don't really do much other than go. He says, "Hello, this is my girlfriend Beru," and it sounds a bit weird when he says that. I don't know why. Anyway, maybe just me. So Anakin says, "Right, you've all done no. Where's my mother?" And they said, "Tusken Raiders took her," and he went, "Oh, I'm gonna go get her back." Yeah. I hate this stuff.
The thing is, right, about that whole sand speech, it makes sense why he hates sand. He was stuck on fucking Tatooine for 9 years. Yeah. That would make sense if he said, "I hate sand. I used to live on a fucking sandy shithole planet." That would make a lot of sense.
What I'm saying, it's coarse and rough and it gets everywhere and doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I hate sand. I lived on a sand planet, man. It sucks. But it doesn't.
And then what happens next?
Right, so he goes on a speeder bike thing, on a swoop bike, whatever they're called. Goes and talks to Jawas and says, "Where's more?" I only put that shot in because I really liked it. So
yeah, it's a great shot.
Nice shot, yeah.
Yeah, nice shot that. And then we cut back to Obi-Wan, and he sees Count Dooku here with all these Trade Federation guys again, all sat around the table plotting. saying basically they're gonna, get together and kick crap out of everybody. Cut back to Anakin. He goes into Tusken Raiders camp, finds his mother. She's there, knackered, basically. She dies in his arms, and he gets that rage, that Jedi rage we've heard about.
The dark rage, exactly as Palpatine had planned.
Yeah. So he goes outside.
There's a deleted scene from the third film where he finds. Yeah, in the third film, there's a deleted scene where it explains that Palpatine was controlling Anakin at this point, and he had paid the Tusken Raiders to kidnap Anakin's mum.
Oh, is it? I didn't know.
Yeah. It's a deleted scene, took it out. So he's actually pushing him into the way of sort of Vader to the dark side.
Yeah, because I wondered that. I didn't know why. Why would they take her and keep her alive? Really, it were a bit weird.
There's a theory that Qui-Gon's. So remember we talked a couple of weeks when we were doing Phantom Menace about Qui-Gon Jinn and his whole missing arc of him being this spiritualist who can see the future and he can see things, and also he has extra special Jedi powers. He's a very powerful Jedi. Well, allegedly, it is Qui-Gon Jinn is at this Tusken Raider battle and he's trying to stop Anakin. It's his last-ditch attempt as a Force ghost, and I think you hear him, don't you?
You do hear him, yeah.
But they were going to have him in it as a Force ghost trying to talk Anakin out of it, which I think would have been pretty cool, to be honest. Yeah.
But you do hear him, yeah. You hear him say Anakin as he's killing the Tuskens. And then it cuts back to Yoda, who goes, Skywalker's in much pain and all that business. Pain, suffering, all that business.
How tiny is Sam Jackson in that? It's smaller than Yoda.
That's pocket Sam Jackson that he has with him sometimes.
That's a storyline that you find out Mace Windu's shrinking.
Yeah. It goes back. It goes back to this, and he goes back and he tells her what he's done here, and he says, "I've just
another red flag."
I've just slaughtered men, women. No, it's not bad enough that he's slaughtered men and women, but he also confesses he's slaughtered children as well, and he hates them.
You didn't have to tell her that.
No, you won't, would you? I slaughtered everybody.
Marry her first and tell her in a few years. By the way,
but she goes to hate is human or something, and then she's so forgiving of him doing this. It's weird. It's like,
dude, look how she's dressed. It's because she's been at fucking Glastonbury for 3 weeks. She's eaten a load of magic mushrooms and smoked a load of weed.
She's been drinking that blue milk.
Part of life, man.
She's been on the blue milk with the Baruic kitchen, man.
Yeah.
Here we go. Get trashed. Right then, so she forgives him for slaughtering everybody, which I'm not. What do you guys think about this now with the Tusken Raiders after seeing the Mandalorian and seeing that they actually do talk to him about stuff and help him out and all that? It does change it.
I know. Oh well, actually, the slaughtering of all of the Tusken Raiders ends up becoming a Tusken legend in years to come as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's going back to that Obi-Wan thing that we were talking about, that that legend of Anakin attacking has become folklore in the Tusken Raiders world.
So do you reckon they'll deal with this in the Obi-Wan series then? Do you reckon they'll be after Obi-Wan a bit?
Don't know.
I don't know, because the shit's scared of Obi-Wan. All he does is show up in the first movie and go, ooh, waves his cape around, and they all crap themselves and run off.
Maybe there is a reason for that. Maybe we find that out in the series. Anyway, right, so we go to the ship. R2 gets a message from Obi-Wan that Obi-Wan sends it to Anakin because he's in range. And he goes, why are they on Tatooine? And he sends it to him. He says, Anakin, can you send this to the council and let them know? So they all know he's in trouble, basically, because they see this message of him getting attacked. And then the council here, they say, we need somebody with power who can order the clone army, basically, who can sign off on it and go, but we haven't got a senator here because she's not here. So that's when Jar Jar Binks steps forward and decides to say he'll be a senator for him.
All your armies.
Yeah, right. Then we cut back to Dooku, and he gives you some information here. Now he tells you that let me get this right. He was Qui-Gon's
master,
and he also tells him pretty much what is going on, because he says there's a dark power corrupting people from within, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So he don't lie to him here. He actually tells him the truth, but Obi-Wan goes, I don't believe you.
It's a typical James Bond over-explanation from a villain, isn't it? You know, basically giving you a little bit too much information.
Yeah, so we cut back.
He was his master, and then Yoda took over because Count Dooku was a Jedi, and he quit. He quit the Jedi's. Had enough of it.
And okay. And you find out that he was his Padawan, wasn't he? Dooku was Yoda's Padawan. Is that right? Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway,
so Yoda trained Dooku. Dooku trained
Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon, yeah.
Right. Okay. So you come back to the council thing, and you find out that Jar Jar's done his business, and they've got the powers to. So they order the clone army basically now to go help Obi-Wan, and who's being kidnapped. Then we cut back. They go into this bloody awful. This is the only still I got of the droid factory, because I think it just speaks volumes. This bit was an afterthought.
This is why, even if I took every positive from this film, I can never sit there and fully enjoy it, because there's always something coming along to outdo the last stupid thing you haven't got over yet. You know what I mean?
And do you know what the worst thing is? Apparently, this was an addition after they cut the film together. They thought, we need something else. We need another action sequence, and they put the droid factory in it.
Yeah, so what's wrong about this is basically you learn that R2's got all these fucking skills that he could have been using in the later movies that they just never mention again. And that's, when he said about the laser grid. Yeah. It can provide a security laser grid. That would have come in handy several times in other films.
But at least we now know how he got down the stairs in the later films.
Yeah. But anyway,
do you know what the worst? You know what though? Right, do you know what one of the bad things is? Even in this film, earlier on, he's struggling to get up some stairs on the palace thing. He's like going like that. You think,
but it shows you.
Although, as we do,
it's step up.
Yeah, he retracts his middle leg.
Yeah, no, but he could have just flown up.
Yeah, why didn't he fly up? Yeah,
exactly.
Anyway. But maybe he runs on fuel, like we find out the ships run on fuel in the later movies.
That is not the worst bit in this scene. The worst bit in the scene is shoehorning fucking C-3PO with
the head
to give him what to do, and they absolutely mess it up. It looks awful, first of all, so I can't get over that. They take C-3PO's head off and stick it on a battle droid, and nobody notices. And he actually walks into battle, and it's just the dumbest thing ever.
Now we've all tried to use a different cable when we're on a different type of machinery, or it's like trying to play an NES game on a Sega Mega Drive. It's not going to be quite compatible. Do you know what I mean? I don't buy that.
Just a freaky coincidence that a battle droid's neck circumference is
same connectors as well. Yeah,
a kid randomly invented.
And it all interfaces perfectly.
See, I'm more forgiving that. Right, go on.
So how come? So C-3PO, we learn in Phantom Menace, was invented by the genius young Anakin, built from scratch. But we see that model of robot time and time again throughout the series. Different colors, different shades, silver ones, black ones, red ones. We see them all the time. So there was never a production line for C-3PO. That neck fitting that he's got is like a one-off neck fitting. So yeah, the battle droid fitting onto it doesn't work. But the fact that another model of that particular robot pops up, I mean, does Anakin get royalty? Does Darth Vader get like?
No, he didn't invent the robot. It'll be like a kit bought thing, like you go buy anything.
You reckon?
Yeah. You go buy something, don't you, and put it together. He'll have got a 3PO in a box, he'll have got the basics, and he'll have got it out and gone, it's a protocol droid.
When I was a kid, my parents had a friend, or we had a neighbor who had bought a car in like just a packaged car, a kit car, and you had to put the car together.
Whatever.
And so I'm just wondering if it's like that. But yeah, exactly.
I suppose this is the problem. Like, if I've got to accept that, then I've got to accept everything else. Yeah, but yeah,
we've got a comment here. Look, Airfix.
There you go. Airfix. Yeah.
Hey, Bob, you all right? Nice to see you.
Yeah, but
Hey,
if your
Bob.
Airfix model of your Titanic or your battleship from World War II actually fucking worked and came alive, like
It's like a big.
impressive.
I think you're worrying about it too much. The biggest,
All right.
the biggest thing,
You
right?
sound like the guy who wrote the movie.
Do you know why? Do you know why this gets a pass to me? I can tell you exactly why. Oh, I'm not that bothered about it, and I can tell you why. Independence Day, where they plug the laptop into the alien spaceship.
Yeah.
But so
That's
okay.
insane.
Just because they got away with it doesn't mean that Star Wars should.
Yeah, okay, so
No,
you're
it
saying
doesn't,
if that happens in a movie, I've got to accept all the other bullshit in every other movie.
I just can believe a circuit might go on another one. Not because it's still in the same world, but when you go off that world into an alien spaceship with a laptop lead and plug it into their console and it works, you're like,
you and your circuits. Just write short circuits. Stop being so bloody lazy.
So what happens next, Lummy? What happens next?
So Johnny Five, right, is in New York City. Right. No, okay. Next we go to the arena scene.
Anything else?
Forget about the droid factory. We'll move on from that. Right. So they confess that they love each other and they have a bit of a kiss before they go out, and then they get strapped to these pylons.
So they've gone to save Obi-Wan, haven't they?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So he's been ordered not to go, and he's been ordered just to stay and save her. And she's said, "Well, I'm going to go and save Obi-Wan, so you have to just follow me." And he's like,
"Yeah,
I knew I loved dreaming about you for a reason."
And he says, "I like that where he says, there's a good joke here. Actually, I thought when he says, we've come to save you, and he goes, good job,' and you're like, yeah." Because they're not doing a very good job.
It's an excellent joke, Lummy. You're absolutely right.
I mean, they should have had a robot drummer outside going. That's what
Obi-Wan needs in this movie.
A drum droid.
And another one going.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Imagine if you had droids for them specific reasons.
God, it wouldn't
a drum droid and a cymbal droid.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, there's a big Jedi battle. They all turn up. Mace Windu and all his mates come and they start smacking people around. And Windu, there you go, lobs Jango Fett's head off. It flies out on the shadow, as we know.
Yeah. You should have called him a motherfucker, though. I mean, it's Samuel L. Jackson. Just a minute.
He has on his lightsaber engraved.
Cool.
And he wanted the purple lightsaber as well.
Yeah.
I remember doing an interview on British TV years ago.
Right, we get in there now. So he kills Jango Fett, and Boba picks the helmet up and has a bit of a moment going on. Oh, you killed my dad. Then he doesn't go find Ed, I don't think.
It would have been quite cool if it was dripping with bits of blood coming off the bottom of the helmet and stuff.
That's a special edition where the head just slops out. CGI. And then he has to walk over Jabba the Hutt again. It's like, how many Jabba the Hutts you putting in this?
Oh, actually, incidentally, just going back a long way, talking about Jango Fett, when he gets on Slave One after that fight with Obi-Wan, did you notice he bangs his head on the door?
Yeah. And not the original blooper.
Yeah, the Stormtrooper. Yeah, sorry, let me carry on.
It's all right, right. So the gunships turn up with all the clone troopers, and they save the day basically. And then the fly. Hang on a minute. Then we come back, and Dooku's getting the plans off the Death Star plans off of this little buzz thing, whatever he is.
It's a Death Star kit. That's what he's got. Yeah. It's a Death Star kit.
It says, Anakin will be able to make this in a few years. Off the shelf kit. I mean, it must take him. How long?
It's got 18 billion pieces in it.
How long does it take him to make the Death Star, though? Because the amount of years in between this film, and this is only episode 2, it's like, how long does it take him to make it then? We don't know.
I was going to ask about that.
There's 3 years between this one and the next film.
Yeah, and then how long between? It's like what?
Well, how old is Luke Skywalker?
From the end,
how old is Luke Skywalker?
I noticed, and I really want to pick your brains about that.
How old is Luke Skywalker in A New Hope?
Is he meant to be 17 or 18 or something? I don't know.
So it's about 20 years. So it took them 20 years but that's not unfeasible. 20 years to build a planet killing base. That sounds about right.
There's a really interesting video on YouTube. Somebody's done a time lapse of the building of the Death Star, and it's all completely created, by them on a computer. But it gives you some idea of the scope this thing will take and the innards of it, and it's like ships flying in and putting pieces on, and it's really interesting. It's quite cool.
Jesus. And what about the second Death Star then? How come they built that in 6 years then?
Well, because they'd already done the first one, hadn't they? So they knew how to do it.
That's it. And they'd
made all their mistakes. They'd made all their mistakes.
Yeah, and they left half of it off. They weren't finished.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
they had a 3D printer.
Technology. Yeah, maybe it wasn't a complete one. Maybe they saw it from front. You're like, don't go look round back.
Yeah. It was a pop-up Death Star.
Right. So we see the plans. Then we follow Dooku. Basically, Anakin and Obi-Wan follow him into this little area here. Padme falls out of the ship, and they don't stop for her. For some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why that would be weird. That's why I didn't bother with it still. And then Obi-Wan gets knocked out, and Anakin gets zapped a bit. He fights him, and then Dooku chops off Anakin's arm.
Yeah.
His arm. Yeah. So we know that's why Vader's got a mechanical arm, although.
And then he knocks his little ass out, which is quite
Then he chops off his hair, which is why we know why Darth Vader's bald. Yeah.
And then Yoda turns up, pulls his lightsaber out, and starts having a fight.
Well, this is a fight in 3 parts, isn't it? So this is a fight that start off using the Force, then they're using the sort of Sith electricity shit, and then we see Yoda pull out his tiny little lightsaber.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think about badass Yoda fighting? What do we think about this scene?
As a fanboy, that should have been the best fucking thing ever, and it's shit. It's shit because it looks shit. It's just shit. Doesn't work. He's pinging around like a bloody Pokemon all over the place. It's ridiculous.
I quite liked it. I've seen.
I've got to say, when I watched it in the cinema, I did like this bit. I thought, oh yeah, like everybody caught up in it. You have been waiting to see some of this stuff. You think, oh, I've never seen him do this. So I always put myself in the mind of when I watched it rather than looking at it now sometimes. I think I do remember watching this and enjoying it.
I hated the whole thing when I watched it, but this time I actually quite enjoyed this fight. And what I liked was the fact that Yoda sort of lost the fight, or Dooku got away because Yoda
he does this. He does this, doesn't he? He knocks down
the music at this point. Do you notice which music was playing? It's the same music as when he lifts the X-wing.
That's weird. The version I watched had Saturday Night by Wigfield playing on it.
I can see how that'd work. You're right, yeah.
But that's the one redeeming thing. Is because of the
music.
No, because of the what's actually going on. Because Yoda is such a Jedi, he has to help people before he can defeat the bad guy. I thought that's quite a nice nod to the Jedi. That despite all that shit going on, world crumbling, and a really bad guy there just about to escape, you've got to help your pals. I thought that was, it's kind of what the essence of the Jedi are. Were
cool. Yeah. So he saves them. Then we see Count Dooku go back to the Sith Lord. So other side of Coruscant, there's a kind of a dark temple, I guess. What do you call it? Like a Sith temple, where they're hanging out. And he gives him the plans to the Death Star and says the plan's working as it should be. Blah blah blah. Then we cut to all the dropships taking off with the clone troopers, and just before that, actually, I didn't get still. But Mace Windu and Obi-Wan are talking, and they say, oh, this is going to be good. And Yoda's like, no, it's going to be, a massive clone war. So he shoves the name in. Begun the Clone War has and all that. You're like, yeah, okay. And then we cut to the end, which is them getting married on the planet. You see Anakin's robot hand as well. You can just see it there, actually.
Yeah, it's quite nice as well. That's a nice still, but it's also mirroring the end of the second part of the original trilogy, isn't it? With Luke and Leia, and C-3PO and R2-D2 stood by the window of the ship looking out, and it's sort of almost a recreation of that shot. And it, it's nice because it's second part. There you go. I said something nice about this piece of shit film.
And then that's it. So the credits roll, directed by George.
Oh, there you go. There's your explanation. I didn't actually realise he directed this one. I didn't realise that.
And he didn't just write on his own. This other guy helped him. So,
prick.
Screenplay. And I think Carrie Fisher did some script work on this.
No, don't you dare besmirch Fisher's name.
She did. I think she helped him out with some of the dialogue between in the.
It was probably that bloody joke that you laughed at. That one joke. She was pretty funny. She was a funny lady.
She was a funny lady. But I'm sure she helped him.
It was right at the end of this movie when Padme and Anakin are stood together. There's sort of a shot of Anakin and them and Padme from the midriff, and the camera sort of zooms in on her belly to give you the illusion that she's
it has like a heartbeat, kind of the basics, like a heartbeat, but that's impossible because she
3 years
later.
Yeah, unless she lost the kid, she's not pregnant 3 years later. So I think
something is going to happen, but it's not saying it's happened at this point. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's foreshadowing future events, but without those events.
The camera zooming into her belly saying this is where he's going to dump a load of Anakin sperms.
Jedi jizz, yeah, absolutely.
Anakin sperm walker.
Maybe he don't. Maybe he never sleeps with her. Maybe he just has a powerful dream and she wakes up pregnant.
Well, he has more dreams in the next one. This. There's more dreams coming. It's not over. Don't stop dreaming. He's a dreamer. He's a dreamer. We've established that.
Just like John Lennon. Yeah.
So what did you guys think of episode 2 compared to the last time you watched it? Personally, I enjoyed it way more than I thought I was going to.
I didn't mind watching
it, but yeah.
I didn't mind watching it again.
You're just nicer people than me. You're better than me. In every shape and way. I just honestly no time for it at all. You know what I really wish? I wish they'd remake them to the standard of some of the other Star Wars movies. I think these films, we could admit that even George Lucas says they don't look quite as good as he thought. They don't work quite as well. I think there'd be nothing wrong with remaking them. You could keep the original things in it if you want, but just re-edit it, add some new scenes. You may as well give it a shot. For me, these films, they're not even part of the Star Wars world. For me, I don't have the heart to include them in the same vein as the original trilogy. Personally,
no, I don't think many people can. I don't think many people can.
Don't get me wrong. There's some good ideas there. There's some interesting stuff, but it's got a lot of downfalls.
I think it moves the story forward way more than the first one did. I know a lot of people sort of rate this the worst one, but Phantom Menace for me was far worse.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't got to Revenge of the Sith yet, and I've forgotten.
I mean, I don't. I know we talk about all this stuff, but I don't worry too much about this kind of stuff. I think I can just let stuff go a bit easier because I'm not that bothered in a way. Like the last ones, everybody's raving about them, and I didn't particularly enjoy 8 and 9. I didn't mind 7 too much, but 8
when you
and
say
9.
They're raving about them.
Well, they go mad about they go mad and they're really like, oh, fucking it. I'm like, if you don't enjoy it, don't watch them ever again. That's what I always think.
I learned today that people actually look on the prequels more favorably than they do the new ones, which
really?
I think that's crazy talk.
Yeah,
I honestly think. Do you know why? Because at least these have got an idea that actually carries through, no matter how badly.
I agree with that. The story.
There is a story to it all, and it's obviously you've got 4, 5, and 6, and this is 1, 2, and 3. It's got to flow together and fit together. Now it does a good job of doing that. At least it goes the story you wanted to tell. And after getting all that hassle off about Jar Jar Binks, it does take a bit. It does take a bit of balls to go
off in this movie.
You what?
I didn't notice David Hasselhoff in this movie at all.
What are you on about?
I think a bit of Hasselhoff in this.
Oh God!
Wow! On that bombshell, I think
I was just about to say something really good.
You're perfectly right. That's for me. That's what makes it worse, dude. Is because the story is actually good. How did they mess it up this badly? That's what will always bug me, But not to the point where I'm losing sleep about it. Like you, I do walk away from these things and think, well, fuck it, it's not for me. I'm not bothered. I'm not upset by it. But they are really stinky, stinky movies, and I just think that there's a lot of potential for them to be much better.
Well, next week we are going to be taking another week off Star Wars. We're going to be taking a deep dive into everybody's favorite film. I think pretty much everyone has a hard spot for this film. It is The Goonies. So if you would like to join in with our retrospective look into The Goonies next week, then why don't you just give yourself the time to have another watch through of that film. It's brilliant. Just treat yourself. It's a wonderful, wonderful film. Lummy, is there anything that you would like to share or let people know between now and next week? Is there anything you want to share now?
I've got let's have a think. Prequel, sequel, requel on Monday night. We've got a movie show.
Carry on camping this week, right?
Carry on camping. One of my favourites. So I'm expecting big things for this one. So that's 8:00 on Prequel, Sequel, Requel Facebook. And then my soundtrack shows on Tuesday, which I will put your request on this week. It was this week.
Yeah,
I tried to do it
last week.
I saw your message saying you didn't put my request on. It's this week. I have to get them in advance. So
I didn't listen to the show. I just knew that you would have forgotten.
I didn't.
Got you out, exposed you for the.
So right, tell me. Tell me. Right, this is what I need. Though I need score music. You both asked for songs, didn't you? I need scores. What's your favourite movies? Tell me now, quickly.
Goonies. Big Lebowski.
Right, I'll do a track for Goonies for you, Rich. And what? Big Lebowski, Webb.
Yeah, I don't know if that's got an original score. I think it's a soundtrack album, but I'm not sure.
What else? Name me a couple you like, quick.
What do I like? I like
Big Butts and He Cannot Lie.
I don't like it. I don't like movies.
Oh God! All right, right. I'll put that on for you, Rich.
Hang on. How about one for the missus? Anything you can find from Dirty Dancing or Pretty Woman.
Nobody sat behind you, man. You just pointed to an empty chair.
Dirty Dancing. I'll see what I can find. That's pretty old music as well, but I'll see. Anyway, that's what's the score on Box Office Radio, 8:00 on Tuesday nights. Thank you very much, Rich.
Thank you very much. And Nathan, is there anything that you want to share with our lovely viewers?
Take care of yourselves out there, guys. It's a harsh world. I hate sand.
Why do you hate it? Why do you hate it?
It gets everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it kidnapped my mum.
Don't have nightmares tonight, everybody watching, because
sand chafes in all the wrong places. Okay, well, that has been it for episode 6 of It's All Geek to Me. And we implore you, please, we would love it if you could pop over to our socials. We are It's All Geek to Me at Facebook. On Twitter, we are at It's All Geek Twit. Please go and give us a like and a follow. And over on that there YouTube, we are It's All Geek to Me, where an edited version of all of these shows and some smaller videos will be going up each week. Nathan,
just one thing, guys. Bear with us. We're nearly there. We've made it through arguably the two worst Star Wars movies. It can only get better from here for a while. So, until we get to the last 3, which are controversial, stick with us. We'll always find something silly and funny to say about stuff, but
But if you are enjoying the show, folks, please give us a share. Tell your friends about us. That's the only way. If you're enjoying it, there's a very good chance that your friends will also enjoy it. So just get the word out there and share some geeky love. So on that note, from me, from Rich, from Chris, and from Nathan, we're going to say ta-ra. Ta-ra!
Bye. Bye.
Bye.